Yeah, no problem then. Okay, I'll keep things as are. In that case,
I could touch them.
yeah, the
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to review sort of what happened over RP chat. I'll do that after the intro. But I'm pretty much set up. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Having survived a deadly chase out of Castle Ravenloft's catacombs, you and your party members escaped the clutches of Strahd's brides and used Strahd's teleportation brazier to magically transport yourselves all the way to the seemingly abandoned belfry of Kreshk's Abbey. Catching your breaths and scouring your surroundings, you made your way down to the Abbey's courtyard past the front gates and searched the western graveyard for Petrovna's lost treasure. You found a grave marked with ever-blooming roses, presented forth Petrovna's holy symbol, and summoned forth the sunlight to grace the forgotten grave. From its crumbled remnants, you retrieved a long-lost heirloom, a ring of regeneration. We continue our adventure from where we last left off. It is dawn of a new day. I'll put us on a map. Wrong map. There we go. That should be good. It is the dawn of a new day. Grey light crests the eastern mountain range, peeking over snow-capped summits and casting long shadows down the Abbey rise, enshrouding Kreshk below and sort of casting shadows all throughout the Abbey. It is still not quite day, hence the darkness around. Nonetheless, light trickles past the belfry's cracked, leaded windows. Some 30 feet above, in the rafters, you see Ramirez, sitting under the shade of a large bronze bell. A lone lantern hangs from the rafters, within which a tiny candle flame dances in the cool draft leaking in through the cracked wooden panes. Somewhere far off, in the distant Kreshk Pond, you hear another bell knell softly, 8 melodious chimes accompanied by the occasional chirp of morning birds. Songbirds. You see, from the rafters, a long hempen rope sags down from the Abbey's bell clapper. It swings a few feet above the belfry's wooden floor, the looped grip at its end dangling like a hangsman noose. Huddled in various corners of this room are the rest of you, rising from sleep and your meditative rest, throwing aside ragged blankets and shrouds left here that served as small insulation against the bitter cold. This high up upon Kreshk's Peak, the winter is bitter. Getting your gear together and donning your armor and bags, you look around the silent loft. Your eyes trace this subtle glyph working around along a perfect circle engraved into the wood floor here. Traces of that indigo flame still caress its edges. You see a cot heaped with furs resting in the northeast corner, surrounded by empty wine bottles, where Javik is currently resting by his glowing sword. The abbot's workshop has been abandoned. You, Vasilika, look around. You see and spot needles, saws, and other tools strewn around atop a nearby temple, like an iron table about your waist height. As the rest of you huddle up and prepare to move on, you catch sight of Casimir, sitting cross-legged upon a cushion, some chair cushion taken from downstairs. He has been silently meditating for several hours now, studying the circle before him. His staff is laid upon the floor before him, and he is holding in his hands what appears to be Patrina's skull, retrieved from her tomb. He appears in better health, and upon seeing you all up, he takes up his staff, rises to his feet, determined to keep pushing forward. Strapping Patrina's skull onto his hip by a length of rope, he says, "All things considered, our venture through Ravenloft tombs was fortuitous. I am sorry we didn't retrieve Argivost's remains, but rest assured that every room scoured down there in those tombs focuses down the possibilities for the bones' locations. We should press on, yes?"
Yes.
Hopefully in the future we'll be making a return to that place, but it's hard to say right now. We won't have a way back in.
Worst comes to it, I can scale the walls, get us rope, get us in. I will my way down from the rafters that I'm on.
Silently, like a cat, you fall, feet first, onto the floorboards. They creak ever so softly. And you're on ground level with the rest of your party. Just to recall from RP chat, you, Ivan, you had Vasilka scour during your watch, because you don't need much sleep, so you had time to walk the grounds and reminisce in memory. As I kind of mentioned, in attempts to recreate the perfect bride, the abbot taught Vasilka much of the natural world and the myriad of plant life forms, fungi, and other organic materials that skilled practitioners used in the alchemical and hemopathic creation of potions, salves, oils, and powders. So, unable to sleep, Vasilka found a solace in gathering local flora around the abbey's grounds and gardens and such. This close to the mountain summit, the cold and the harsh winds withered most plants, unhardy to crash near eternal winter. Amid fragrant evergreens and trampled garden bushes, you, Vasilka, you found a young tree growing amid the snow-dusted rocky ground, its leaves gleaming blue in color and its trunk thick and remarkably durable against the blowing winds and heavy snowfall. This was, as you know, a blue wood, more known as a blue leaf or druid steel, often used in the creation of strong armor, durable weapons, and blue flame torchlight, especially among druid tribes who cannot use real metal due to dogma and tradition. You saw blue sap run down the length of the tree, dyeing the bark in this multi-shaded streak like ink running down a page. You know that this sap throughout history was used in monasteries such as this by monks as a printing medium for scrolls and such, as well as the two ink among the more rowdy tattoo crowd. Finding this tree, standing amid the thin copse in the freezing cold, you harvested some of it. And I even give you a little bonus because you ruled that pretty good. Recalling what little you know of potion craft, you would know that blue leaf essence harvested from this plant is often used along with additional ingredients such as alchemical bases as a basis for herbal alchemy potions associated with like the element of air, as well as healing potions and the like. You don't recall much on the subject because perhaps you just focused on other subjects as well under the abbot's care, but you know most of the abbot's teachings come from his almanac collection, kept in the main hall downstairs in the west wing, behind what you remember is like a sun disk ornament above the hearth, to which the abbot often prayed to during morning ritual. That's where he sort of kept his little library and such.
Okay.
Questions? If no questions, then yeah, as long as you have that in your inventory, you're good to go.
Yeah, just I imagine that it's empty now, right? When we pass through it.
You don't know. You don't remember. You didn't check it. You sort of went downstairs and turned right to the door. You didn't really walk around the room. Worth checking, perhaps.
Yeah, in that case, let's explore the abbey. Maybe father left things from the past. Anything that could help us on the coming days.
Yes, it's definitely worth checking.
Also, what was that, Ramirez? Just for the sake of keeping on the chat?
Yeah, I would have approached Casimir, pulled out the skull that I grabbed from the tomb of Kazan that had the amber teeth and the gems in its place of its eyes. Perhaps this didn't have a chance to really do anything with it while we were in the tombs, but looked like it was potentially tied to the temple. Might be of use. Perhaps we can get information from it at some point.
What sort of information can I get from such a thing? It is not what I was seeking, though it looks expensive.
Well, Kazan was supposed to be a mage of some power. Perhaps if you... I don't know. I know people have been able to talk to skulls before and get information from them.
You imply I should speak with the dead, the ancient dead.
Well, possibly. Something for us to keep in our back pocket, maybe once we get closer to the temple.
Perhaps. Keep it upon yourself. I unfortunately do not have much in the ways of bags or travel gear. For most of my things are in my hovel in preparation for our expedition. My expedition up the mountain. I did not want to risk losing any of it, so I left it back home. But, yes.
Of course.
Should time come, I believe we might have use for this. I have my suspicions of what this undead thing is. An enduring thing. Throughout history, it is a remnant of one who has tried, and by the looks of it failed, to achieve undeath. Demi-lichdom. Perhaps it is some sort of a phylactery.
Well, then. Perhaps it gives us leverage. Get if it ever succeeded. If not, well, potentially we can use it for some other purposes. But I think we should probably
turns toward the rest of the group as they begin to head down the stairs and just gives them a quick glance of, I'm not sure what sort of benefit that will provide, but better have and not need.
Yes.
This thing, it is malevolent in nature, perhaps only containing a fraction of the life force that once animated the Demi-Lich.
Yes. It's not all that much, but it's potentially something. Turn to Silica. You know this place better than anyone. Where should we be checking for potential resources?
Yeah. Let me show you the way. She makes her way down the stairs.
Basilica and Ramirez make their way down the stairs as, the other Dask Elf lingers by the circle, just kind of finishing up his ritual of starting the circle and such. He'll be right down. Javik, is there anything that you want to do while you're in this room as your companions go down? Yeah?
I was actually just going to say, while kind of catching the little bit of the skull lichdom and everything, and while I was trying to head down the stairs with Basilica, I would just kind of maybe mention, like, if it's something that can't, help us directly, if, the Lich was to ever return, it's possible that the enemies of my enemies can be a friend, or if not, at least a distraction for us, cause some havoc in this castle.
Yeah, I'll turn to Savik and go, perhaps getting that Elhoon was there when we broke out and freed you from Valenta's experiments. I know he certainly didn't seem happy with Valenta. Perhaps we can turn him to our aid.
Oh, I would also turn to, well, excuse me, picking up after that, well, Valenta's a cruel one, and it's hard to say
You
what
mean
will happen, but well, everyone saw it, obviously, but I don't know what number to call her, or like that, his other bride, the one
don't
who was
say
at the
it.
altar, um, when we were teleporting out, she was non-hostile to us. Why was
She let us escape. Don't
that
know
seems a
why.
little weird.
My immediate thought is that it's toying with us.
Mhm.
You.
Possible.
Maybe,
Mhm.
maybe she's toying with us. I say out loud, but in their minds, I say that I have a peer into her heart, and she's sad and angry with whatever Strahd has made her endure during this time, and she was acting as rebellion doing that. I
Hmm.
don't know if an ally, but certainly it can create some opportunity for us.
Well, in
She's,
that case, we just need to provide the correct motivation, correct opportunity.
it could be a way into an ally. I mean, she was probably subjugated, doesn't want to be there, has a little bit of discontent for Strahd, but still under his power. I guess we'll have to see when we go back.
Maybe many will be given back their liberty and freedom once we are done with our task at hand. Ramirez, as you're putting away their skull, because I guess you're done with it, just roll me real quick,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, just a straight up intelligence check, like a d20 with your intelligence modifier. You're looking at the skull, the black opal eye gems, and the amber teeth. With a 16, you've either dealt with a Vistani or dealt with other merchants who dealt in gemstones. You would be able to determine the worth of the object in your hands. While the man, if you remember his name, the powerful archmage who tried to unlock the secrets of lichdom and later tried to become a demi-lich and failed, while his skull might just be bones and poses no apparent threat. The gems embedded in the skull are valuable. With 16 intelligence, you'll be able to judge their worth. Here you go, in case you need it in your inventory. For the purpose of spell casting and all that, it might become useful. If not, your idea of speaking with the dead.
Yeah.
And that's really all I have to say about that at the moment. As you all maneuver and continue to discuss the brides and such down the stairs, you see upon another table, halfway hidden beneath a dark shroud, as you step past it, lie chopped up body parts, all of them taken from cold, grey, lifeless corpses, waiting to be stitched into something horrid akin to silica. Dust, frost, has settled upon the abandoned project. Seeing as none of you really stop by it, you see Casimir trail behind, stop by the table and take a look at it. Unsheathing his dagger up an inch, you see Casimir press his thumb against the blade and draw a drop of blood. He then reaches his hand toward the cadaver remains on the table and begins to chant arcane words in Elvish tongue under his breath. The Elvish phrases, uncharacteristically harsh, discordant, as you see necromantic tethers lace themselves around the grey limbs on the table, magically stitching together the body that slowly begins to stir, rise.
I assume this is exactly the same as I've seen him do many, many times before with Milos and what was the other one called? Bratislav?
While previous projects were successful, these were sloppy. Now you watch him and he is slowly mastering his craft. It is a better attempt this time. The body stirs awake, lifting. As the zombie rises obediently, it shuffles to Casimir's side. The Dusk Elf says, almost nonchalantly, kind of turning toward you, Ramirez, a walking meat shield. In case...
Yes.
In case
Useful to
the way
have.
ahead holds surprises for us.
Yes, useful to have. Looking at the cloth that was covering it, could that be turned into some type of robe or cloak quickly to kind of
It could.
give at
You
least
could
some
try-
type of coverage to
It
maybe make it
smell-
not
it's-
immediately obvious this is a zombie?
Yeah. Heeding your advice, it will put the shroud over it. In fact, it's big enough to even form a little makeshift hood of some sort, and the zombie doesn't seem to mind or shuffle or resist, for it is under his command. The reek is still very prevalent, barely masked by the cold, and the way it moves is eerie. Anybody close enough will be able to decipher that this is an undead being, but at least from afar, it looks like just another Barovian traveler, like you've seen been ambushed by on the roads before.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well then, good to have another meat shield available. Actually useful. Turning
Otherwise,
back.
it is a waste of good body.
Yes. Turning back to Basilica. Where do you think we should check first?
In front of the altar, Father used to keep his library. Maybe there is some food still left near the barracks.
It reeks. It's like a 15-foot reek. This body has been here for a while, and necromantic magic's animating him but not helping by jiggling around meat. For the sake of this, Brender is with us. I don't want to bother with his token and stuff. I'll control cast him because he's my NPC now. But Brender can dictate his own actions as he watches this session, and he'll be like, well, while they were doing this, I was doing that. With that being said...
I'll just take from
Yep.
Brandar the detect magic one. That's the only thing I'm gonna do.
With that being said, you guys are gonna go ahead and take those stairs down. So you are...
And I would have grabbed the amber pebble that we had, just a note, and have read that at least a little bit at night. But
well, now, it's a good time to share with the party as well, if you guys need a review of that. Specifically what he's talking about. I think I have it here somewhere. Snow
you
prep
do.
run pebble. There you go.
Yeah, no. Had this thing back from Argynthos itself. It's somewhat related to the temple. I don't know much beyond it, but the note seems to give at least a couple of names about the founders.
I'm streaming music, I'm sorry.
I don't recognize the names themselves, because I don't think I do. Shelvax, Melvius, Hakathor, Angarb, and Dahavian.
The names are like from a certain tongue, sounds like Elvish name, Dwarvish names, something like that.
Basilica. Did you hear that? I disconnected there for a second. Roll me a history check. Thank you. 26. You're very well studied. The abbot tried very hard to make you the perfect bride. Very knowledgeable to match your master. Sharks, Malverus, Hekotha, Thango, Devito. Those are not elvish names. They are, in fact, infernal in nature. The language of the nine hells. These are demon names. Devil, rather.
Okay. This one sounds familiar. It's from the dark other sides. It's demons' languages. Or devils, to be precise.
Well, that, I suppose, shouldn't have been any that surprising. Nor these names they're dark.
I'm just reading over it a little bit, just trying to...
Sure, I want to read it over it, so I'm just going to read it out loud if you don't mind. A torn,
Yeah, go for
crumpled page was wrapped around a round object. This page appears to be from a journal written by Lord Argynvoss himself years ago. The object is an ember pebble inscribed with a Lokharic rune, Lokharic being the language of dragons. This valley's idealistic beauty masks a vile secret. I have spent years seeking it, and finally I found it. The Amber Temple... Oh, I need to put my Argynvoss voice on. Where is that? You know, my there it is.
The Ember Temple, a repository of evil power. It is my duty and my burden to ensure whatever lies trapped inside is never allowed to escape. I shall build a fortified mansion and gather the forces of good to guard this place. The temple's gates are watched by gargantuan statues made of amber, each bearing a name. It took some spell work on my part to translate the ancient infernal tongue, one not used for more than 2,000 years. Each statue appeared to have been dedicated to the temple's founders, Sharks, Marvelous, Hakatha, Thungo, Deviton. The names go on and on. It appears my predecessors, the Guardians, a secret society of wizards, built the Ember Temple in the Balnok Mountains more than 2,000 years ago. By the eldritch inscriptions and the warnings on the outside walls, it appears its vaults contain the captured remnants of dead, malevolent entities, vestiges. One can only imagine the hoard of forbidden knowledge they may have amassed over the years. Alas, such curiosities have to wait, for even I must not be tempted to breach the wards and venture into such places alone. I shall take a piece of the temple with me and bind it with my power. The power to find the path once more, so that my forces, once gathered, may find the space. There are others who, like me, seek the temple, though I fear they're mean to feed upon its immense power. I must make haste and assemble an order. Order!
In my name! I can't read. I need water. Alright. The object in your hand is a pebble inscribed with a Lokharic rune to find the path. The pebble seems to be worth enough, and I'm going to use actually your previous roll there, Ramirez. It's a 100 gold piece of amber. Same worth as the teeth on the skull. And doubles as the spell's material component.
Yes. Well, potentially this lets us get to the temple at some point in the near future, but I think we want to check a couple things out before we actually arrive at the temple.
I don't really fear too much, but even going inside of a temple that's housing demons and fiends such as self, they would be available to us, perhaps if we were to break them free, but if we were only desperate enough to bring down Strahd, but we'd be releasing a plague upon the land again, swapping one enemy for another if we needed.
Yeah.
I don't think it's wise to...
This is where Strahd... Yeah, this is where Strahd got his powers. Then I certainly want to know more before we go and arrive there.
As you step down the stairs and onto the staple cobblestone ground, you feel the reek of the creature behind you, especially you, Javik, with your senses.
Oh.
As you hold your breath, you just kind of hear it like groan and its labored breath as it continues just, be a zombie.
Oh, when we opened that box to get the amber stone right there, hey, my guy, stop breathing so loudly. Fucking mouth breather. There was a spirit that was trying to get into it, but he's probably been following us, he said. Or we had the lingering idea that it was going to.
Your character would know that having taken the portal and having been invited to Castle Ravenloft, you probably already lost its trail, but yes.
Oh yeah, we lost it, but we'll keep it a little bit careful.
But did we though?
Question for you, if I put down these, do you see new light sources around?
Yeah.
Wait,
Good.
I did just change, so yeah.
Because And you wonder, like, candlelight would have burnt out from this coal by now. These are all enchanted with continual flame. So they should be on.
Yeah. Turn to Silica, putting the piece of amber into a pocket. So, where are we searching here?
Is this the library you were mentioning, Tom, or is that even?
So I can't remove it from the map, but this is the disc that I believe Samson took with him, and I don't know where it ended up. Actually, I don't remember where the sun disc. So go ahead and roll me like an investigation, Vasilka, as you're kind of peering around your familiar home. I'm gonna give you advantage because this is your home, and you sort of know what you're looking for, but you were not really keen on the abbot's secrets wholly. Still, advantage because you're familiar with your surroundings. With a 17, you look around. The abbey's main hall below the belfry features this long table upon which are set several candelabras, dusty, cobweb, but still burning. A set of stairs leading to the cellar, right beside Javik and Ramirez there. There's a cold hearth set into the wall on the far side of the room, above which, Vasilka, you would recall, once hung a large sun disk ornament made of solid gold. It seems the sun disk has been looted. Behind that spot on the wall lies a small alcove, lying within which are several thick tomes, almanacs of various subjects, including herbal alchemy. You would recall there used to be, 17. You look around and you actually see that something is missing. Something's absent. You would recall that there used to be a safe box kept here holding various base chemical reagents, but it appears to be missing. So almanacs are there, but the lockbox is missing.
I'll pick up the almanacs. This will prove useful, especially if we go down as we went last day. We may create something that keep us up a little longer.
We can say, Ramirez, that you did Inspiring Leader in the morning, unless you wish to roleplay it later.
Yeah, I'd kind of be as we're going through encouraging people that we're actually doing fairly well. We did very well surviving that match, and we've got new resources, new capabilities, new chance to strike back. We have multiple objectives to deal with now. So let's all stay together and not falter.
I want a full
folks do.
10-minute speech.
Yeah, immersive.
Yeah, I can try.
Inspiration if you do it in rap form. No, it's fine.
I can't rap. I don't know how to. At least
Ramiro was a bard when he was alive.
Right. Well, filled with resolve, you feel inspired.
Yes.
In terms of the Herbal Alchemy Almanac, Vasilka, you did take some time to forage during your previous night, finding the blue leaf tree. Should you want, you can browse the Herbal Alchemy Almanac to try and find recipes craftable with the blue leaf essence you harvested.
I'll do that during the short rest, or another time we're resting.
Okay, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll keep that then. Where do you head from here?
Turn to say, shall we check the basement?
Yes.
See if there's anything interesting there before going up to the other building.
Yes. It used to be full before. Maybe there's still some lingering.
That looks like the place was ransacked pretty well, but there might be some.
Yeah.
Okay, you head down the basement stairs, following row by row. Who's at the lead, who's at the back? You peer down the stairs and it's like darkness.
will be lead.
I'll go second.
There, why not?
Brandar, you sit upstairs.
Sorry. Who's lead?
I am Ramirez.
Okay, who's next to? Who's right next to Ramirez?
Me. Sure.
You. Okay. There's the sword, and who's behind them?
Me,
Yeah.
Basilica.
Okay, Basilica.
Now I'm feeling like we need to bring the zombie in front.
The zombie's in front,
Oh,
of
meatbag.
protecting his spellcaster. And then we have.
Shit, this cramp.
Right. Real quick, where's my Abbey? Proceed downwards down the stairs. Just bear with me here. Village of Crash, Abbey, there it is. Because I don't know why, but the basement is separate. You do find a basement full of Wizard of Wine's casks, bottles. So some of them shattered, some of them still whole upon the racks, crates, cobwebs everywhere. What you see is what you see. It seems that some of this place has already been ransacked through, but some things remain. What are you looking for in this place?
I will be trying to look if the abbot had another secret behind a wall, something like that. Something that was just keeping away from everyone, even Basilica.
Sure. Go ahead. As you look around the room, where do you look? And what do you do?
Through the walls, she will be like passing her hand, going from the top to the bottom, and
Okay. It's gonna take you
behind the caskets.
Caskets. The wine casks? Yeah.
Yes.
You
Oh,
find a
sorry.
casket. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes,
You take the better
we're taking
part
it.
of like 5 minutes to do that, passing by various barrels and such, kind of moving them. You see there's all sorts of vintages here. The barrels against the east wall containing purple grape mash number 3, a cheap variety of wine, swill almost. Some of the barrels are actually full. There's 4 barrels against south wall that contain a higher vintage, something by the name of Red Dragon Crash, a fine wine, and various bottles and such. Go ahead and roll me, I guess it will be investigation again, as you're trying to find your fingers, and suspicion is confirmed by your fingers as you trace over an already open compartment. Somebody has been through here before, and unfortunately you don't find another one. The only secret that the abbot kept here has been already looted.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, we've shown that there's nothing down here. Suppose we should go up to the other building then.
Everybody else down here?
Yeah, there's nothing. Just lifting up old lids, kicking around dust, cobwebs.
There's wine if you want.
Yeah.
It's a wine cellar. Doesn't seem much more here. There's a few empty like lanterns, but they'll require for you to put a candle in them and light them up. So, but I mean, you have your light source, right? So.
I don't think I have.
So,
Is there
Or
What's up?
your sword is light source, no? Or your sword?
Yeah.
I was talking.
Yeah, it's lighting up this whole thing.
Yeah.
Is there any old just like glass bottles still around that are empty that could be filled with the wine?
You.
Like on this rack.
Yeah, there are several ones on the floor that seem to have been uncorked and drank from. There's a little bit of liquid left in them, but they're mostly empty.
I'll pick it up, just give it a little sniffy sniff, and just pour the remnants out, and
Probably for the best. Open wine sours fast.
yeah. Actually, I'll take 2 bottles, and then am I able to like just? Can you just like pop the lid off the top of these ones that I'm next to here and just to check in and see if it's still good?
They're masterfully like nailed shut. The way you get the wine out of them is from a bottom cork, a tap of some sort. You could like just brute force it, just put 2 hands, pull, and try and pry it open. No problem. It will break the barrel, however.
I'll use the cork, but as I'm gonna fill the 2 bottles up, I want to look to see, like, while it's pouring, if there's like any floaties or chunks in there, and then just give it a sniff, see if it at least smells good. If it's not, whatever, spoiled. Is this the same wine that's on the wall though? The Crush?
Yeah, the one in the center seems to be that swill quality that Barovians have been known to drink more of the common folk. It is not bad. It actually somehow still retains its aromatic quality. It smells fine, didn't turn to vinegar. Unfortunately, there are a few, like, trace bugs, maybe spiders, maybe like earwigs floating around in it. But nothing you can't like flick off and enjoy the wine regardless. Beggars ain't choosers.
Yeah.
You shut the tap and you can feel that the barrel is full. If you had to guess just by looking at it, it holds like about 40 gallons of the stuff, and it's like heavy. It's like 70 pounds per like barrel.
So you're telling me I could strap it on my back and be totally fine still?
Yeah, it will be a burden to carry around, but you could totally do it.
I could carry it.
Yeah. I mean, you're a big old strong pal. I'm just saying it's a burden nonetheless.
I'm a big strong man.
Yes.
Okay. But this is the same stuff you said. The Crush is still the stuff in the middle.
Yeah, there's like 4 barrels that are labeled. No, this say how on the barrels actually says Red Dragon. If you zoom in. What was that? What the fuck was that? Yeah.
Well, if I can do just one of the normal wine and then one of the Red Dragon Crush, then I'll just do 1 and 1.
Yeah. Like barrels?
No, just the bottles that I filled up.
Yeah, bottles no problem. I think you're just strapping 2 barrels into yourself like fucking wine
double
monk.
fisting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You can go ahead and add those to your inventory. The Red Dragon Crush is of supreme quality. You suspect that magic was involved in the preservation of this wine. Any other means of preserving it would have already turned it to vinegar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Gus is fucking gone. That poor donkey. Maybe we'll find him when we go back, and we'll be like, Gus, this is a rescue mission now.
Yeah. Well.
I missed Gus.
Yeah. Just.
Dude, that guy's been through a lot. His fucking buddy died too on the road to werewolves.
Yeah.
He would have made a good mount if I only could raise him.
Yeah. Well then. Suppose you've got at least some wine here. I don't suppose it might be useful at some point to convince others to go with us, or at least to strengthen your resolves, but I think it's best if you go check the next building. Looks like this place has already been looted reasonably well.
The ones that came before us, they did mention that it was the villagers had stormed these gates at some point during some kind of commotion.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened.
Casimir goes ahead and just pockets one of the bottles as well and follows you upstairs. You are back on the main floor of the abbey.
Alright. Well, if we got nothing here, then to the courtyard.
As you've spent about half an hour, getting up and looking around, by this point it should be daylight, so let me just go ahead and turn that on. Daylight mode. Save.
Probably best to keep our voices down and make sure that we go undetected for as long as we can. No one knows that we're here. Hate to drag another unwanted scenario out.
Agreed.
While we're passing through the well, Basikla will try to see if there is anything inside of it, where the Bellevue used to stay. Like, see if it catch anything interesting.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Remember, I dropped a rock on that dude.
Trying to find the friend you used to feed him from your palm. You used to hang out and tell him stories. He used to listen, chittering softly. He is no longer there. Nothing in the well besides a rimed, like, frosted layer of water atop of some sloshing pool, about 20-30 feet below.
It's hard to believe, Vasilica, that you came from such a place and you are the way you are now. It seems nothing more than a bunch of tortured souls that lived here. Looking at the pens and the chain where that one bat lady used to hang out here.
They just needed caring. That's what we were giving them here. A second chance to be happier and freer.
This place is abandoned. You see tracks in the mud below your feet, both animalistic and human.
I wonder why the town's people didn't reclaim their church back.
That is a good point. We should probably be on guard then.
Yeah, I imagine it's either due to bad memories or an actual threat. And I will make my way into this room.
Sure. You make your way into this room. Kind of turning the corner, you see a corridor dimly lit by the seeping daylight in through like shuttered windows, and a door at the far east end of the hall that leads outside. The door is like hanging off its hinges. Past its threshold is a trampled frozen garden. By its construction, this hallway looks like an asylum ward for the insane. All throughout you see refuse left behind by the occupants of multiple stalls. Here, shattered clay plates, simple wooden drinking cups, soup bowls, several shivs made from like these sharpened rocks, and a familiar looking wood Vasilica. The air reeks of animal waste, rotting food, and the remains of some maggot-ridden dead things spread eagle upon the floor about 30 feet ahead of Ramirez down the hallway. You see swarms of flies and large rats feast upon this dead thing.
Keeping my voice down, I just am looking into the room, scanning it really quick, but also keeping, like I said, my tone down, just speaking to Ramirez, and then just remembering what Vasilica said. And it's just like, you know, some kind of second chance, some kind of care. Just looking at the filth.
Yes, this is not a pleasant place to be in. At least it doesn't look it. Looking down at the body down the road, I'll turn to Savik and say, shall we make our way down, checking each room as we go to that thing? See if it's still alive.
Yeah, we should check to see before we go down. I don't want anything sneaking up on us.
Yeah.
Is that a cup right here, or is that just like a sconce or something on the wall?
I'll tell you what it is in just one moment. I'm just kind of
Okay,
marking where I mentioned that the corpse is. There we go.
Oh.
I'm just marking on the map so I know where I mentioned it. Yeah, that's a good position for it. There we go. Starting with Javik, you peer into that room. And that is 15A.
Yes, 15A.
I'm going back in time and trying to like set it as it is now.
Yeah.
Okay. This room was once a shared bedchamber, but you see its furnishings have been like destroyed. Perhaps at some point, several beings cowered in the shadows of this place here. Now the abandoned that thing they used to cradle, a shiny object upon the ground. It looks like polished brass, a candlestick of some sort, chewed upon, tarnished because it was held, but it doesn't appear to be anything more than a polished brass candlestick.
How tall is the ceilings in these rooms?
About a floor high, 10 feet.
Okay.
Ramirez, you're looking into that place, and just bear with me here because I have to confirm that they are going A, B, C, D. No, they don't. That's E. Okay. Looking into that one, you see a room packed wall to wall with the remains, bony remains of mongrel creatures, mostly bone at this point. Some of them still have flesh and muscle upon them to be recognized as half animalistic, dwarf-sized creatures, hunched. And the floors are strewn with their knot bones.
But nothing alive.
Not anymore. You count, there's anywhere from 12 to like 20 bodies here, confined in this makeshift tomb.
I will close the door and then start making my way up further once Savik has cleared his room.
Sure.
Yeah. Just a candlestick and some garbage.
As you look into that room there, Javik, you see more traces of people who've been here but no longer are. You being like a barbarian and the experience you've been through, especially with your tribe, you recognize the way this room is set up. The mess is pulled toward the walls in sort of a ring where several creatures like brawled, like a welcome to the cage sort of thing, you know. Otherwise, there's wreckage of different beds and such, filth. And the walls have like the remnants of like as if somebody was like scrawling upon them with their nails, just fucking scratching into that. And you see a life-sized painted wooden statue of some sort of saintly woman in robes in one of the corners. This thing over here.
Yeah. I'll get closer to it. Can I be able to discern if it's like Saint Markovia or is it just some kind of just random figure?
The statue, which is over like 5 feet tall, carved from a single piece of wood, does depict Saint Markovia as you may have seen her depicted in other sources. And this close to it, kind of letting your sword's light cast its shine upon it, you see that it is covered with bite marks. Mm-hmm. A relic from another time, abandoned here. Shame. It was a fine piece of art when it was untouched.
Sure. It served nothing more than just a dummy for a more aggressive inhabitant. And just kind of snooping around. Is there like any... I don't know. Would I find that interesting? Yeah, this bottom left, is that a bed or is that like a breakthrough into like the...
It's the remnants of a bed, like a fucking chewed upon mattress. You can see like there's claw marks in it and stuff. Yeah, it's like a dark... It's like rotted to the point where it used to be white and now it's just all black and moldy.
Looking over like any fine detail, is there like anything... I hate to say like hidden, but is there anything that's...
You can look for hidden stuff. So it's not metagame to be like, I look for a hidden door. Like, it's fine. You can look around.
Yeah, but it's just like, it just looks like it was like a sparring thing. It's just like, here's some fucking animal caged up in here. I don't think they would want to put a
whole bunch of animals caged up here that use this statue as a punching bag.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
It's either a zipper or some aminal.
Anyways.
No, that's really about it. That's all that I would see it as.
Yeah, you continue to look around, trying to find if there's anything hidden beneath the shadowed clay, trying to use the light of your sword. Ramirez and Basilica, you peer into that room across the hallway, and you see there is a glittering gold statuette in the far room, abandoned here, surrounded by a few more remains of these mongrel folk, their bodies. Upon the walls, all throughout this room, scratched with nails, you can see traces of blood in the stone, are lyrics to some sort of song. The devil dwells in his dark house, upon the misty pillar. First, he'll taste her sweet, sweet blood, and then he'll have to kill her. Like a madman scrawling, it is all over this room, repeated over and over and over again. As you approach the statuette, you can actually see that one of the mongrel folk's skeletons is still clutching onto it with its bony claws, like hugging it, like a comforting doll. The corpse is emaciated, starved. This mongrel either died to cold, starvation, or cannibalism, you're not sure, but as it met its end, it found seems one lasting comfort in hugging this statuette.
I will take the statue from its hands and go. I would have cared about this when the door was open and could have escaped. Found food. Interesting. I wonder what this has. Do I recognize the statue as anyone in particular? Or
yeah, it is very similar to the statue across the hallway. Same Markovia. It depicts her. Seems to be worth quite a lot. Made of solid gold, quite heavy too.
I will take it and offer it to Silka. What do you want to do with this? It seems this is probably yours by right at this point.
Yes, it will be a shame to leave it here. She will take it under her arm.
Sure. As you take it away from Ramirez, you can see where he was touching it. His skin is slightly burnt. Just a little bit. A very common reaction, almost allergic, that you mildly experience it from your vampiric blood to holy vestiges and objects.
Well,
about as
else.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else that might be useful against others who are more like me. I'll shake my hand off where it burnt me a bit.
Mm-hmm. A mild reaction, no more entertaining than biting into a clove of garlic. For you, Basilica, the object feels different. Its heft, not so much a burden, but an elevation. There is a piece of father in this object, or at least he cared for it dearly. These scoundrels probably stole it from him sometime after he abandoned this place. While you're carrying it, you and any other good aligned creature gets a +1 bonus to saving throws.
Nice. Write that down. +1.
Yeah, I can make a handout for it if you guys want, but I figured that you would remember.
You just have to hold it, like, in your inventory,
no
right?
attunement, just hold it. You have to carry it upon you. It's like a protection charm.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyone
Saint
feel like they need it?
Markovian statuette.
Oh, it doesn't do me any good. It burns a little bit. Better for one of you to have it.
It is to try to bring some peace to the Belvius here.
To be fair, it's never too late to change alignments. You just have to prove yourself as a good creature by action. That's all it is.
Yes.
Meta-wise, does anyone feel like they need a boost to their saving throws? Basilica?
Basilica probably could use a boost to the saving throws, given the...
Hey, she got a really cool ring, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all know how to add modifiers to your sheet, right?
Yes. Don't
Yes.
worry.
Cool.
Yeah, it's of minimal use to me. I'm hardly good.
Well, since we're Basilica's home, she can have it for now. Maybe once we get Brandar back in here, we'll figure out
Yes.
if he wants anything too. Or we can always just trade it off. It's not like we have to be attuned to it.
Brenda is just walking around creeped out, just like, fuck this place.
I'm not gonna lie, the further Zavik goes into this place, he's really just doubting everything Basilica has said. Like, oh, this is a place like we give people second chances and we're like taking care of them. I'm like, yeah, sure, bud.
They are sick. They need caring. This is their second chance, man.
Ramirez actually had a point, and there's a creeping feeling, Basilica, that you also catch on to. The Monger folk, while most, like, we're talking like 90% of them were too insane to take care of themselves, which is probably why it led to a cannibalism and this mess. A good portion of them could have survived in the wilds, but something got to them first, judging by the gnarled corpse before you.
Yeah, I'll walk over to it and try and kind of poke it a little bit, make sure it's not going to spring at me.
Casimir just like
Before
peers over your shoulder. Is there anything left for me to, you know?
I don't know. Whatever got it did a number on its body. Took out the lower half.
You look upon the mongrel left to fend for itself after the abbot's forced to abandon the abbey. You want to like roll like a medicine check or anything, trying to confirm your suspicions?
Yes.
Yeah,
I will go ahead and give a medicine check.
Mm-hmm.
I am totally good at this.
Cool. I'm just gonna reduce a Casimir's skill point there. But you rolled a 4. Yeah, it's pretty obvious this thing has been like torn apart and probably by some vicious beast, or maybe one of its own. I mean, these things are wild, totally capable of tearing this thing apart like that. And smearing, throwing its body like 10 feet across the floor. Yeah.
I will drag a finger through the blood on the ground. Is it dry at this point or wet?
It's wet.
This is
Concerning?
somewhat fresh.
Okay.
This is at least somewhat fresh, and I will take a taste of it. It's new.
Mm-hmm.
Be on guard. Whatever did this is still here.
When Ramirez tasted, I kind of just wince at it, like, ugh.
You glance down at the Shavik, you can see like though most of the body has decomposed. Or not decomposed, but like started decomposing, and seem to have been picked apart by some carrion scavenger. You can note the more animalistic, aberrant anatomy, very akin to the experimentations of Valenta and her rats. Like the fact that it appears to have been digitigrade, like possessing long legs with like knees bent backwards, like the hind limbs of a horse, or it also appears to like the creature had like a skull of a feline creature in nature, and one of its like hands bent at an awkward angle has like 13 clawed fingers.
Turn back to Basilica. I don't suppose the abbot had anything to do with Valenta. Did they ever work together on something?
Sometimes the bride came to visit along with Strahd, but I couldn't say for sure.
Yeah, I will check out the room next to the body here.
Right.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, what's that meme from Fallout 4 when it's like you do something bad and says like, oh, everyone disapprove of that?
Yeah.
That's me right now, hearing that Valenta was here working with the abbot.
Mm-hmm. All right. That
I
don't know if it's true, but
I'll remember that.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. Looking at that room over there, Ramirez, you see a grim sight. Among the dead here are young. We're talking children, perhaps some infants of the same creature type. Though the map does not reflect it. There's like a whole bunch of them, like about 10 to 20, and 3 of which are like no older than like a year or 2 old. These things reproduced, bred, gave birth, were capable of generations.
I'll just spend a moment looking before closing the door. Back in.
Better leave the dead to their peace. Not even Casimir glances the room with potential. Walking on.
Safik, anything on that side?
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, just checking down.
Checking that, you see the bodies of 7 of these mongrels seated in the middle of the room, forming like a ring with their corpses. They are seated, literally cross-legged, their bodies bowed forward and their hands, palms up in front of them as their heads bow down, and they're in this circle. They seem to have died in this sort of chant. There is
it like
one. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, was it like a ritualistic, like suicide thing, maybe?
I'm not sure if it was suicide, but it was ritual in nature. It seems, because they're in a perfect circle like that, and they're all in the same kind of position, praying for something. In the center of the circle are like a few candles surrounding like a half of a very tiny bell. You're not sure. It's like some sort of ritual of desperation.
There's like no runes on the ground. There's no like parchments.
Looking for that, you actually do see a few runes, or rather attempts of, as if they were like once seen by these mongrels and they attempted them to like recreate them, or maybe from like past memories that no longer were in their right mind. The amateur work, like Casimir just shakes his head, kind of looking around. Being a wizard, he will let you know that they tried to summon forth something, conjure forth something. Perhaps food?
Oh, is he hinting like they just starved, like right there?
Like he's just same as
I
you.
would kind of just asking it to myself aloud, but also to, I guess, Casimir too. It's like, won't your instincts kick in at that point and at least try to attempt to stay alive rather than just sit here waiting to die?
I think they did. I think that's what they did. Their instincts kicked in and they began to eat each other.
I'll just go over and I guess just kind of like look at one of the bodies that have its palms up, head slumped, and just kind of push it down to the side with my sword. And I guess I'm not really expecting much, but then
the body keels over, sinew still tied to some remnants of flesh. The skeleton remains mostly whole. The palms remain where they are as the hands kind of roll away from them as they disconnect.
You said there was like a small half of a bell or a bell?
It's like half of a small bell, still upon its like wooden handle. The clapper is still there, but the other half of the bell is
just like fragmented off.
Chewed off. Literally chewed off.
I don't know. I guess I'll like just kind of at least inspect it, I guess, and touch it. Not that I'm actually looking for anything, just kind of looking it over, just kind of giving it a little flick of my wrist, yeah.
It resounds.
Okay.
There's just enough of it left to resound. It's a very broken note, but yeah.
Yeah, I just put it down on one of the corpses, and I don't know. That's it.
Okay. As you like exit that room, past room, as you can see him trying to pull off the zombie as it's like on its knees, just like, you know, fucking going at the corpse on the ground. And he's like, no, bad, no.
No.
Yes.
Put your dog on a leash, guy.
He don't bite.
Don't bite. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's friendly.
So, Ramirez, you look onto one of the last rooms there, facing sunrise or muted light. Bracing for the worst, you look in. You see the remnants of a fort made out of like piled bits of shattered furniture, torn draperies and such. You see a emaciated hand kind of poking out of the fort, hanging loose, of a couple mongrel folk that used to be there, but sort of sheltered inside and, tried to cower away from the cold, perhaps.
Yeah, I would actually go in and do a little bit more check to see if there's anything inside of the fort other than just the Mongol folk.
Yeah, quick investigation check then, as you rummage around, taking 5 minutes or so.
Beautifully.
Taking your sword
We got
out,
a
kind of
5.
rummaging around. The only thing you manage to find of worth is a shiv that seems to be made of some sort of wood, sharpened, like a very short spear. And the wood is streaked blue and bleeding this bluish sap. And it has a little bit of very old blood on it, as if one of the Mongols here used to defend itself against something. Or just killed to survive and eat. You see more bones strewn around, maybe it ate more of its own. Yeah, among remnants of like shattered soup bowls and such. They had food for some time, and then, a domesticated animal will starve itself out eventually.
Yep. I will take that shiv and toss it and go to Silic, because I'm assuming I saw what she brought back from her herbalism. Is this of any use to you? Herbalism stuff?
I'll check later.
Yeah, I don't know if that's blue wood or not.
It seems to be. It's pretty. You've literally just harvested. It is. Just with none of those precious leaves that form the essence, just the wood itself.
Huh. Well, with that I would continue along. I'm assuming that Zalek checked the other side, or someone else checked the other side.
You check the other side. It contains, thankfully, no bodies. A little respite for your eyes. Looking past the door, upon its hinges, you can see a trampled garden beyond, where several scarecrows kind of stand skewed in the places. You can see several animals actually grazing on what very little remains of the garden.
Give me 1 sec.
Yeah.
Silica, is there a second level to this building?
Yes, the stairs are at the end of the hallway. On this direction.
Sure. The rest of you who kind of sort of look out, it is snowing. Though abandoned and creepy, there's some serenity left to this place. A bit of it.
Yeah. Seeing nothing threatening out there, I would follow Silica to try and get to the stairs to bring us to the second floor of this area.
Sure. Javik following along, or are you still looking, peering outside? Maybe you step away from the keyboard there. I'll have you guys huddle up then. Yeah. Javik will catch up in time.
Alright, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But I had my girlfriend walk down and ask me something. I was gonna check and see though, through that back door, did it look like it was opened anytime recently? And if I was to open it, was there any tracks or anything coming in from the snow? And then also, did it look like the fields in the back were being at least like cultivated, or were they just completely just barren?
At one point they were, but this place has been abandoned for some time. No
Right.
villager or anything like returned to this place.
No, just making sure.
It's been trampled upon by multiple creatures, and now nature has just taken over. The wild animals graze in the remnants of what grows through snow and cold, but there's not much left.
Honestly, I would just like to make an attempt, because I've barely used it at all, but I would like to use speech of beast and leaf, and if it's possible, I'd like to I don't have the ability to understand them in return.
You can relay a message nonetheless.
I would ask the rabbits. I would bend down, like I'm at the just barely outside the door, pushing my hand down to the ground, and staring kind of intently at one of the rabbits that's nearby, like in the field or something, and just asking it if any humanoid has made its presence known, and if so, like perk up or like stand on like your back legs or something, or like some kind of thing. Do a circle.
Roll me animal handling check with advantage.
With advantage.
So what was your question again? Stand on your hind legs if what?
If there was any type of humanoid that has recently been into this place, like in the last few days.
It stands on its back legs for a moment, sniffing the air, letting snow kind of fall on its nose, flicking one of its ears, and then rests back on four legs and approaches.
I look back really quick. I'm like, what else can I ask it? What else?
Is still living here?
I would ask it again. Is it currently residing? Did you last see it currently in this building? Like, is it residing in here?
It lifts four legs, resting on its hind legs, and kind of, lifts on its paws up a little bit, kind of waving in the air, and then goes down on four legs again.
Alright, whatever it is, that thing's down in the basement. And judging by everything that I've seen here, it's not gonna be nice. Okay. I take the rabbit, and he's now my pet. I'm just kidding. No, I won't. I don't.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay, I can't think of anything
it uses
else
its
right
bonus action to disengage.
now. Please! We had a connection!
Oh, so it's still wild animal. And you as a furbolg would respect that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
100%.
It hops back to its friends.
Okay, cool. Cool little bunny. Be free.
Savik. So what exactly did you learn from that? It seemed like you were talking to it. Couldn't understand what you were saying.
Well, it's either definitely one of these mongrel that are still here, or it's something else that's been kept in the basement for a while. Unless Basilica knows anything about it, then we're still in the dark.
Where won't you have left when they about depart? I don't know who could be here.
Oh, we killed that other... Yeah, we killed the flesh golem.
No, language. Okay, never mind. I was curious. How powerful are wizards? Alright,
So it's... Okay, yeah, we can go back downstairs.
sure. Huddle up as you ahead. Actually, those stairs are going up. The
Oh,
ones on the south.
there's no down... Oh, okay.
Well, if you go around this wall, right, and you'll see these stairs are going up.
Ow,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's where we want to go, I think.
Yeah. I thought there was a basement.
There is a another way to the second floor, around the parapets from the room where you were. So there's like two ways
Yeah.
out. This is just one of the ways you didn't go yet.
Nah, we go up.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Huddled up. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on the second floor. You are here. I believe Basilica, are you here too?
Yes.
Okay. Where are you? I don't see your token.
Nowhere
On
and
the stairs?
everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you are.
I was
You're like
I'm
hidden.
next to the zombie now.
Okay. Cool. So, Javik, what is your
Yes.
passive perception?
14.
14. You smell, as you come up the stairs, through the floorboards, as you're coming upstairs, you smell a little bit of sulfur. Just like your visual senses are kicking in. Ramirez, with your damper senses as well, you can kind of detect this. It's very subtle in the air, but it's definitely like this swampy, sulfur-like scent.
I will give a hand signal, kind of indicating that something, not knowing what it is, and then I will proceed further
Yeah.
forwards.
Okay.
I kind of mouth the words, something fresh. If it's being that aromatic.
It doesn't smell fresh. I don't know if you ever smelled sulfur. It
Oh,
smells like rotten
not
eggs.
really. Oh. Well, I meant
rotten
it's...
eggs, brimstone, fire, and ash. But as soon as you step up the stairs, the smell vanishes. It just seems to come from like this area. Very intense suddenly, and then just vanishing. It's coming from like the floorboards of the second floor that you're passing as you're coming up the stairs. There is a door here. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a door there. No, you can't see it, but there is. Otherwise, you come upon some sort of old office. You see a wooden counter, shaped like an L, stands at the front of this spacious office. All the other furniture has rotted away, leaving heaps of moldy wood and faded cloth. Upon this table rest bells, 11 of them, set in like a row. Toward the eastern end of the room, there is an iron door that lies shut. Upon this door, Basilica, you recognize celestial symbols that glow across the door's circumference and form this radiant, constellation-like ceiling ward at the door's center. So door here, and then like a sigilled door here. What do you do?
I would ask Basilica if there's anything that she would remember about any bells or doors here. And being celestial, if she could decipher it.
Do adjust the chip volume to about 60% or lower, whatever is comfortable for you. But I just couldn't find this track on Spotify, so yeah.
Okay. I thought Strahd was back or something. I was like, wow!
There is something different about this room, obviously, from how I described it. So it deserves a different set of music.
Yeah. I will open the door next to us out onto onto what I'm assuming is the courtyard.
Courtyard parapets. You're about 10-15 feet above the courtyard, looking down. The alignment of this map is a little bit iffy, so feel free to use Alt to place yourself like around. But yeah.
Yeah, I spend a quick second looking out there, confirming that that's
You let the cold
where I
in.
expect.
The sulfur smell is not coming from the outside. Outside, you smell petrichor and that fresh snowfall smell.
Well,
With that, I'll mostly close the door again, keep the cold out for folks.
Okay.
But
There's a description of the room again if you need a review of it. What do you do?
yeah, go ahead.
I'll jump across the table to the other side of the L and just kind of check out the wall on that side and check out under the table on that side. Check to see if there's
Due to your passive
anything.
dexterity, I'll allow you to jump across the table without knocking over any of the bells. As you check it outside, you find more ruined, nothing of significance. I won't waste your time. Just more ruined furniture, essentially. Pieces of wood, about 1 foot 3 in length, some of them sharp from having been broken. Something broke them, which would lead you to guess perhaps a struggle? Or maybe just time and rot and the passiveness that is about Barovia. Each bell looks like this, if you're curious.
Yeah. Are these bells sitting upward like how you would see them on the table, or are they all just like strewn across?
Nope, they're upwards.
Are they all very like clean, or are they like dirty? Okay.
They're very clean and polished. Even slightly glowing. It's hard to tell because you already have a light source, but like if you were to like, put it away for just a moment, it'll be like this.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like they are slightly glowing. There is sort back.
Give it. I guess I'm kind of waiting for. I'm gonna just kind of look over at Vasilika and see what she's doing with the door, and just kind of be.
Sure, you guys. Javik is just giving a quick look around, just looking at the obvious. You see, like the countertop is made of wood. It's nice wood. It's old. It's soft. You kind of press your hand a little bit into it, maybe, and like it's like spongy. Whatever. Javik is investigating around. Vasilika, what do you?
She's trying to understand what says on the door, but she doesn't speak Celestial.
You don't speak Celestial?
No.
Perhaps I could help, unless anybody else has ideas, and we can save on my resources. I do have a spell to comprehend language. It will take me some time to set it up, but...
Well, we've got nothing but time right now.
Essentially, his solution will be like 11 minutes, available 11 minutes later, which will give you time to investigate everything else around. But I believe, because he's a wizard, he has comprehend language. It's a ritual. He doesn't need to have it prepared. Oh,
correct.
He doesn't.
It's cool. So it's going to take him some time to set it up.
I will, having smelled the sulfur on the stairs coming up.
Yeah.
If I spend a little bit of time looking at the wall next to me, which should be about, it should be adjacent to where that is. Do I smell any of the sulfur from there?
You press your face against the wall and smell through the rotten wood, past that rotten smell, past the smell of decay. Yes. Sulfur and other chemical smells, oils, lamp oil, blood. Mixture of fumes, smells coming through this wall. As you kind of leave away with your face and press against it, you can feel that the wood is very spongy and soft, as if soaked by something.
Want me to smash that fucking wall?
I was going to try and be a little bit more careful about that. And I'd like to try and find a place where two slats of the wooden wall come together, so there's somewhat of the start of a seam there. Try and force that a little open to try and get a little bit of... Try and kind of peek in through a crack that if I have to create using a blade.
Okay. I'm going to say that both of you can try your ideas individually if you wish. There are seams in this wood. The panes kind of are vertical, side by side with each other, so you'd be able to like kind of get your nails in there and start prying at it. And the wood is soft, so it creaks and it might just break. Go ahead and do me like an unarmed attack roll, just to see how fair you do with that. As Casimir, you can see him like bring out of a whole bunch of spell reagents to start like casting a spell. Like pinch of soot, salt that he smears on the wall and around him as he begins to chant those elvish words again, taking his time. So, an arm strike is just one. It's a d20 plus your strength modifier.
Yeah.
It holds surprisingly. The while it is a frail thing, the pains, the damage threshold is a little bit higher than expected, so it does hold. Yeah.
Question: these spells were before here, or it's something that was added like in the last few weeks since Basilica left?
Has Basilica been around the West Wing? Forbidden to you? I don't think so.
No, if it was forbidden, no, she would.
I think you kind of stayed where, like, in the workshop, in the downstairs main hall. You walked around the courtyard and the outside, even in the garden. But I don't think you ever went to the madhouse, because that was more like the other mongrel folks who fed the insane stuff. The abbot was very adamant of keeping you safe, and he didn't trust his own children to, like, behave around you, you know. So I don't think you've been here much. You do, however, recall the abbot mentioning a visitor came seeking asylum in the abbey, and they stayed somewhere in the West Wing. Probably not in the madhouse downstairs.
Yeah.
This visitor was an outsider, not of Barovia, and yet made her home here regardless. Her name was Esmeralda. I'm like, how coy would I want to be with this if you literally met her before and she recognized you? From time to time, you and Esmeralda spent your days in the garden, sometimes even, like, you know, foraging for herbs and stuff, or just discussing stories. Esmeralda needed some time to get used to the idea of you, but actually, with time, came to accept what you are. Either that, or she didn't want to get in the way of the abbot and his work and complicate her own ventures. That being said, you never ventured to Esmeralda's room in the West Wing, wherever it is. Curiosity always overtook you, but you were obedient to your father while he was here. Now he's no longer here, so nothing's stopping you from, you know, finding out information. Yeah, so Ramirez, you're taking your time. You managed to get through one of the boards, pry it apart, and you can see there's, like, a stone layer behind the wall, very thin, almost chalky and limestone consistency, that's been bricked over, and through a few chinks and holes in this limestone layer, you can see more wood on the other side. And that is really what's stopping your progress from just doing this by hand. You'll probably be able to excavate this limestone if you had, like, an hour or two with just your claws, because it just falls apart like chalk. But that 3 strength there is not doing you any favors right now. You're more lie and stealthy and muscle mass.
Yes.
Is not your strong suit. Javik, however, if you want to help, you can.
I absolutely will.
Yeah, it looks like I can't get through this in a delicate fashion. You want to try?
I get the old busty sledgehammer, but I don't do, like, a full swing with it. I use it. Obviously, it's a blunt thing, but I put my hand towards the end where, like, the 4 to 6 pound weight is at, and use it kind of like a battering ram, not swinging to, like, hit the bells or anything.
I'm gonna say, because you are already having Casimir take his sweet time with the ritual, if you take your time, both you and Ramirez, to go through this effort, you eventually manage to make a nice big hole like you did in Argynvost. I am editing the layer, so if I take this off, hopefully, yes, good.
Holy shit!
Nice. You make the hole, and I can describe the wafting smell that's coming from this room, as well as anything else. But do you wish to do anything in the room that you're in currently, or just, you know?
I would be, like, checking the bells to see if there is any inscription on them, and
there is.
Cast detect magic after I read them with the wand of magic detection.
There is magic to them. Specifically, if you're looking for a school of magic, it is transmutation. The spells that change one thing into another, as well as a little bit of a lingering abjuration magic to it. But that's all you can really get from these. Upon each bell are inscriptions, more of those symbols that some of them seem to be matching to the door, Each bell contains a couple constellation-like letters in that celestial language that I guess Father just never had the time to teach you, unfortunately. Are you sure you don't know celestial?
Let me check just to be sure.
Yeah.
Are you
Abyssal, primordial.
Okay.
Yes.
That's okay. All right, no, that's fine. I mean, I thought. Oh yeah, because you're a hermit by background. Okay, never mind. I thought you were like a acolyte and you had celestial in you. Never mind. All good. There are some of the symbols, and they all are unreadable to you. But I do believe the comprehend language, once cast, is a.
You touch the thing and you can understand it.
10 minutes.
It takes a bit of time to read.
It will take from
Word, but-
Casimir some time to decipher all of this, but just enough time for you guys to investigate the other room while he's busying himself doing that. So that's fine. It all works out. But yes.
Yeah. I will join Zavik, kind of making our way through the hole into the other room.
Okay. You step through the hole. You are greeted by an acrid smell of chemicals. You get a look inside the room. You step over like what appears to be like bunk beds that have been disintegrated with age. They lie in heaps along the walls of this like moldy 30-foot square room. You see a spent hood lantern lies upon the floor near one of the beds. Stashed away, very badly hidden, half hidden beneath the bed, is a soft metal store box with an intricate lock at its front. Vasilka, are you in the room with us? Or are you...
Yeah, like after they got inside, she will follow.
As you look at this box, you recognize it. That's the object that's missing from the abbot's little safe in the main hall. This is the alchemist lockbox. You also see there's a feathered quill, inkwell, and a piece of parchment by Ramirez. Ramirez, you look down, you see some words inked upon it as it rests atop one of the ruined beds. Across the room, there's an alchemist table that rests at the far end of the room. And this metallic smell of iron oils and boiled salt water is strong in the air, as well as that sulfur smell from before. There's a lot of things to investigate in this room. What do you investigate first?
Well, seeing... I suppose I would probably pick up the lockbox, and assuming Basilica mentioned that that's what she'd been looking for, I would hand that over before grabbing the piece of paper that had writing on it to try and read and quickly see what that says.
The lockbox is heavy, secured shut, featuring an intricate lock. Looking upon it, you two see several symbols engraved onto circular buttons set in a radial pattern surrounding a central bead of metal embedded into the lock. One of the buttons is already pressed down. So I'll give a description again in text so you're clear of what this looks like, and you can ask me questions. Maybe I'll even, for the time being, as you're looking at the box, draw it out so you can see what I'm talking about better here. I'll just draw it on top of the room like this so you can understand, and I'll use like a whiteboard to freehand draw it. So you see several symbols engraved onto a circular button array around a central piece of metal at the center. So there's this piece of metal in the center. And around it are several symbols, one of which is already pressed, the very top button here. The symbol is like so. And it's already pressed. There are several other symbols around. I'll just draw them as you investigate further.
So I would be reading that piece of paper.
And one more symbol, which looks like so. I suppose this metal should be like filled in. There you go. It's grayish, metallic in color. So now I've done this and I'm back here. That's what you see on the lock. Any questions about it, or do you want me to just jump to that piece of paper you're reading?
The paper like that.
Okay.
I imagine the symbols are celestial?
No,
Or
they're different. Celestial, if I were to draw the celestial letter, they would look like constellations. These are different. The letter on the bed, looking about, you find like several crumpled pieces of parchment with like ink smeared upon them. Letters composed and then thrown away. The letter you're looking at is an unfinished letter that lies on top of the bed, the ink dried and sanded, and the paper left uncrumpled. Let me see, I believe I have a handout for it. Handouts. Bear with me here. I have to look up my notes, so.
Yeah. So, I don't suppose those tomes that you had have these symbols. See if they're related to alchemy.
I'll
Usually you
check
have
the
some-
tome through the pages, flip around to see if I found like any symbol familiar to this.
Yeah,
Yep.
just give me a second. I'm just going through like days before
Right.
in
No
notes. I have it here. I wish I guess I didn't put it on my Rule 20. So I'm just scrolling.
Well, while you're doing that, I think the top symbol is iron, but my alchemy symbols are poor, to say the least.
Okay, so unfortunately I don't have the handout, and I don't know, I'm not sure where I kept it, but I do remember vaguely what it was. It is a letter by Esmeralda de Avenir, written in reply to a letter from Van Richten sent some time ago, informing Van Richten that she has arrived here in Barovia, seeking him out, informing him of the rumors she had heard from the lands where she traveled, along those lines. For the sake of expediency, I'm gonna say that the letter is relevant, but not to this lockbox in any way. I will find the handout for it in a bit, but for now, let's just focus on what we have in hand, shall we?
Yep.
Thanks. It's just that I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
So, if I check the almanac through the pages, do I find like similar symbols to the one in the lockbox?
So, let me see here. Yes. You do. Alchemist's lockbox. We're back in my notes. So, as pointed out by Ramirez, who knows a little bit of alchemy, perhaps, those symbols all are compounds. While alchemy will detail compounds, transmutation methods, and such with symbols, this is the code for them. Reviewing the almanac, you can tell that this symbol up top here, of the button that's already pressed, stands for lead. The object at the center is lead-like in color, as the button is currently pressed. Around, going kind of in no particular order, you have this symbol over here. That is copper. This symbol here denotes iron. This is gold. This is a symbol often seen in your infernal tongue, actually, that you know, which Uvasika, even without the almanac, will recognize for Mercury. An element often used in traversal to the lower abyssal planes. Perhaps this is why it's on the bottom, or maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it's just artistic design. I'll just put it down here. This over here, that is iron, which makes me mistaken. This is iron. This here, sorry, is tin.
And I think the last one is silver.
Correct.
And you say that the button on the top is pressed?
The button on top is currently pressed. In fact, I'm gonna have a little circle thing to denote buttons that are pressed. There we are.
I'll grab a copper coin and try to scratch it against the button in the middle.
Copper being a little bit more hardy than lead. The lead scratches off slightly. Not revealing anything behind it, for this whole thing is made from lead, but you do scratch off a layer and leave a few scratches in it.
Okay.
Touching the copper coin to the lead center does not trigger anything so far.
You think, would your father have trapped this box, or you want to try just hitting some of the symbols to see if they do anything?
Yes, give it a go. I give it to Ramirez.
I will push down. I'll try and push on the symbol for gold.
You push the symbol for gold, and the symbol for lead depresses. And you hear, and all the buttons depress. For a brief moment, this thing in the center turned to gold. And then it turns back to lead, and the button for lead presses. A correction to make this puzzle a little bit easier and perhaps more understandable later. The lead button kept pressed. You pressed the gold button. For a moment it got pressed, the middle button got turned to gold, and then the gold button depressed and got turned back to lead. That's a more correct version of events.
And there's no piece of paper like anything in this room explaining, be like, oh hey, there's this box, here's this lock code, like some Resident Evil 2 shit.
Rummaging around, go ahead and roll me an investigation check, hoping that perhaps this alchemist left something along.
Nope, that's a 2.
That's a 2. You rummage your notes and such, try and find, and it's gonna take you quite some time to find specifically what you look for. You continue to rummage. You'll have the book in hand, and time will keep going on. You don't find things right away. You found the symbols in the almanac, and you are comparing Esmeralda's notes to and through. Just the 2 is a little bit, it's a time gate. See if other people can figure it out first, and I'll throw in a hint if it takes you another song or 2.
Yeah. I will try pressing. I'll try tin.
Okay. You press the tin button. The center turns tin-like in consistency. Both buttons remain pressed.
Huh.
Okay, do these bells have any carvings on them?
They do, but the carvings are in celestial, not matching the alchemical symbols. You look over to Casimir. He is just about done deciphering the door with a spell. It's coming to a head. A couple more minutes and he'll be done with the door, and note it in his journal and move on to the bells.
Yep. So, turn to. I don't really have an idea of why that worked. Let's try iron.
Well, to be honest, you can always have lead. This could also turn into just a time thing, but you could just keep hitting.
Yeah.
Lead will always be hit first. You hit copper next, it resets. Hit lead, then tin, resets, or it stays. Now we hit lead, tin, and hit the next one, and then reset.
LSB, MSB, just go toggle trial numbers, but
yeah. DM, does that work?
Well, what do you do? Because you said 3 plans just now.
I will hit iron. I'll hit mercury next. Sorry.
You hit mercury?
Yes.
You hear the turning of the gears, and then all buttons but lead depress.
Okay. Lead, tin, copper.
Same thing. Depress.
Lead, tin, gold.
The click sounds more resound. Something changed, as if there was less space for the gears to clash together, as if something is compressing them slowly. You're progressing something. You're not sure if it's the opening of the box, though. Brute forcing might not be a good idea.
Yeah. Well.
So far, you did lead, tin, gold, lead, tin, mercury, lead, tin, copper. And all 3 of those did not work. You had 4 failed attempts so far.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose put this down until we figure out something else from these books. I don't have a clue at this point.
Yeah. Seems like it could be locked forever.
Yes, oh well. I will go over to the tables where it seems like alchemical processes are going on and start kind of looking at those, try and see what is actually happening at those tables.
Sure. As Javik continues to rummage with Vasilka in those 2 tomes, the ones that found with Esmeralda and the ones found with the abbot, you head over to the alchemy table. The station has glass vials and bronze pots full of various liquids. Some of these vials even glow softly. Go ahead and roll me a medicine check. Trying to recognize most of the components on the table and such. There's not really an alchemy check per se. Medicine is the closest thing. You see a sack full of powdered silver lies by a stack of books on transmutation and the synthesizing of various concoctions, antiseptics, toxins, cures, as well as treatment of monstrous bites and wounds caused by necrotic magic, werewolves, and vampires. There's a 4-ounce flask sealed with a cork, full to the brim with some sort of a yellow powder that has that sulfury smell that you were smelling this entire time. And it just wafts from this 4-ounce flask. The symbol upon this flask is like this. A triangle with a little cross below it. If you're asking questions in chat, I can't read them. What is the weight ratio of all the elements from heaviest to least? You can go ahead and roll me a knowledge check, which would be honestly pure intelligence. Yeah.
Just intelligence then?
Yeah. Unless we can apply a skill check that you're proficient in. Because I don't think anybody here is proficient with alchemical tools, unfortunately.
No.
Okay. A 12 is not bad. You would know that weight-wise, the DM will have to look it up.
Oh, I was just gonna see if that was like the code being like heaviest
So-
to least heaviest.
So,
and
tell
then
you-
mercury.
lead is hella heavy, and the next
Yeah.
one you pressed
Go-
was tin, which is hella light.
Okay.
Mercury is hella light, I know. Gold is hella heavy. Copper is about
Mer-
medium. What?
Mercury's heavy.
Mercury is heavy, solid?
It's liquid metal, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Oh yeah.
I can post the math.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
It was lead heavy, tin light, and then you don't know what the third one is, so what correlation there you can take from that. I know copper is about average, because it's used for soldering. Same with silver, it's used for soldering, so it's pretty. And gold is probably the heaviest out of them, so it's like medium heavy. I know lead is hella heavy, and mercury is hella heavy apparently, and iron is hella heavy. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. But no, tin is pretty light. So yeah, so you see flasks and such. You see a sulfur flask. You also see another 4-ounce flask, Ramirez. Beside it, it's labeled white phosphorus. The flask is empty, save for a scant powdery remains at the bottom, and a symbol ornamented the flask, a triangle below which runs a vertical cross that's crossed twice. You confirm that none of the symbols, I mean, you already knew this, but, order of investigation, I suppose. Neither white phosphorus or sulfur is on the alchemical box, but it was used in the station. With a 7 medicine check, you also see a glowing orange substance within a bronze bowl covered by like a glass lid that contains some sort of unfinished sticky adhesive fluid. You have no idea what that is, what this possibly is.
Yeah.
Besides guessing.
How much does this box weigh?
Oh, it's hefty.
How much?
Like 10, 15 pounds? Let me check something real quick. Oh no, it's hella more. It's like 20 pounds. It's along with the machinations that lock it, the lock itself, the iron that composes it. There's stuff inside that rattles and shifts the weight around. 20 pounds is pretty hefty.
What if we take this back to what's her face, Esmeralda?
Maybe. But if she was in this room, she wasn't able to open it. I guess.
Well, maybe she was the one who locked it or something.
I'm gonna give you guys one last investigation check, and now Vasilka and Javik are browsing through their books to kind of just to give you one last chance to see if you can solve it here. Otherwise, yeah, that might be the only solution here.
Me.
Okay.
Let me I'm rolling, guys. Wish me luck.
You did not do it, my guy.
Yee. The almanac
Alchemicals.
is written mostly in Celestial. Your father's alchemical almanac. Some of it is in common, mostly transcripts from other books that have been copied over. But his personal notes, especially the ones that mention these symbols, are written in Celestial, unfortunately. Such is your luck.
Well, I'll look at everyone else and say, well, I suppose we can keep this with us. Maybe Brandar or Casimir will know alchemy better than any of us. Not really our strong suit. I will take. There's the full vial that you mentioned. There's the vial full of powder.
Sulfur.
I'll take that. Or full of sulfur.
What does the blood?
So I'll put the puzzle away for now. One moment. Let me just delete things one time, so I'm not deleting things off the map by accident. Vasilka, your leg traces something on the ground. White powdery remnants upon the floor that are mirrored on, like, there's a circle on the floor and there's a circle on the ceiling. It's like...
Will I recognize it? Like
roll me like an Arcana check, just to see how much I can say about it beyond the obvious.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. While the spell had long since dissipated, a spell was cast here, leaving faded traces of holy glyphs burnt into the floor and ceiling. The spell seemingly required like 4 vials of holy water, whose uncorked vials are like strewn on the floor nearby. It's a magic circle, used as a precautionary, perhaps, to keep away vile creatures or celestials like Father. Magic circle. It's been cast here some time ago and has been since faded, but they've left traces.
I will grab the... I think there's a thing of powdered sulfur that you had mentioned. I will grab that. And then check kind of over in this corner of the room if there's nothing else there before.
There's about 50 gold pieces worth of silver in the bag.
I will take that.
Mm-hmm. Carefully maneuvering around the rest of the stuff, you peer over. Vasilka, do you want doing me like a medicine check real quick?
Sure.
You're using guidance all the while, so
yes.
those help. Okay. You see one of the bronze bowls covered by a glass lid containing an unfinished sticky adhesive fluid, and identify it by one of the things mentioned in the almanac in your hands. It is alchemist's fire oil, glowing brightly orange and emitting a fair bit of heat.
He seems to be preparing something here. And I'll grab the alchemist fire.
I wonder, let me just click on this real quick. I want to see this. Nice! I'm a genius! I don't have the handout, but I put the handout down on the floor, so I just zoomed in on it. Nice, so there's a letter. Dr. Van Richten, I'm writing this from Kresk, a town where I hope to find your name on the village lips. You're more than a merely... you've more than... What the fuck did I write here? You're more than a merely well-remembered citizen, Doctor. The folk back in Riverless talk of disappearances and hungry shadows and the evil of an abandoned estate, Rittenhouse. That place, the crimes and the tragedies that transpired there, I know we'd both rather forget them, the whole accursed land, but the mists drew me back. Now I'm here. I know. I don't know. The past we both hope to bury is not done with us. Something terrible festers here in Barovia. It's lurking within the heart of the castle of Ravenloft. The heart. My investigation begins with the sealing of this letter. This time, I hope our families can stand together against whatever haunts us both. Yours, Esmeralda de Ave. Yes. Sorry, I'm just happy I couldn't fucking find that handout.
Oh yeah.
You see, beside that letter, you were asking about this too. Bloody bandages and such. It seems to be like a surgeon's station set against the eastern wall. You see a used healer's kit set upon, with bloody bandages, an empty bottle, and metal bowls full of bloody water within which rests a large curved needle. The blood upon the bandage has browned, and the water within the metal bowl and glass bottle smells of antiseptic and strong alcohol.
And this bag, we already picked it, right? That's the lockbox. Or... this backpack?
This bag should not be here because Esmeralda left. I'm sorry.
Okay.
She did seem to leave in a hurry, leaving some things behind, but she's not gonna leave her like literal adventuring gear behind.
No, of course not.
No.
Maybe.
Just forgot to lock box or couldn't open it.
Yep.
Maybe she was as frustrated as you guys and couldn't open it. Who knows?
Yeah.
At this point, I'm gonna say it has been a fair bit of time. He managed to decipher both the bells and the door.
Don't suppose you have what these things mean now?
Well,
Found a couple
I
things
have-
in the other room.
good news and I have bad news. The good news is I was able to decipher it. The bad news, it is gobbledygook, rubbish. I don't understand it. The door, well, here, and it shows you the notes. I'm gonna just put this on a map as well so you can read. As he reads you just celestial, he deciphered them literally. These words don't mean anything that the spell can decipher, but he did translate them into common in a way that you can enunciate them.
Dorum Efasol Endum Refam Doral.
Re mi fa do la ti do.
That's what I mean. Like, it's gobbledygook, and I investigated the bells. See that one there to my left? The biggest one. They have, like, these celestial sigils. That one is do, next is re, me, fa, sol, le, te, do, re, me. The last and smallest one is fa. But these are not words. I don't understand. It's a waste of my spell. I had to use 2 spell slots for this.
If cast as ritual, it doesn't consume spell slots, but
Oh, right. I had to waste 20 minutes of this. Pretty sure I had to waste more than 20 minutes because each object he touches, so he had to teach each of the 11 bells. But, you know, I'll whatever. I'll treat them as one object. It's whatever.
it's a minute for a page of text, but you can keep going for an hour with the first cast.
So I want to give the deepest one a ring first, the doe. Which one that is.
The biggest
Big old
bell,
boy, maybe.
The biggest bell, like right next to Ramirez, emits a tone.
Okay, then we need to hit the next.
Does like a little light come over the door or something that I ring it?
No.
Okay.
The sigil is always a light. The sigil is always glowing.
No,
but,
I know.
But yeah, you're looking for like signs of recognition. No, it just rings out.
Oh,
Okay,
Nice.
keep going. The next one, I'll ring the re, then the
No.
mi, fa, sol, le, te,
Wait,
do,
it's in a different order. It's
and then it's re, me, and then I'll do a fa, and a do, a re, le, fa, re, me, do.
It's not the correct order. I had lost track because you were deck so fast, but nothing really happens as you continue ringing bells. It's a beautiful sounding harmonic D minor.
Well, it's not just getting the correct syllables for the word. You must have to figure out how to get partials. Break it up to mimic the same words as the thing. Because unless I misread, that was the same pattern if you kind of re-chop the sentence that you have posted there.
So for order of fairness, and also because I can't fucking keep up with you, dude.
Sorry,
Can you in text below the door write out the sequence of bells? If lowest do is 1 and the 11th bell is 11, can you write out a sequence that you ring out? That will really help me, because otherwise it's like I'm just following around with your sentence and I lost track. Everybody else could try as well.
Do.
Write it out though. Like write out the
Oh, God.
from 1 to 11. What you think it is?
The biggest one is Do,
Do.
or it's the okay.
There are 2 does on the bells.
Two those.
There is
Okay.
do and there's. No, sorry. There is do and there's do. Like do and then 3, 4, 1, 2, and this is do as well.
Oh,
These 2 bells, if you hold them, they'll ring out harmoniously.
Okay.
okay, this is gonna be close, but not quite it. So, let's do 8, 10.
Man. This is gonna take some time for me to write all these numbers.
It's not
Wow.
quite right.
1.
So that's gonna have failed. But
What's Ray? 2.
For the sake of progression of puzzles, and because it gives a good visual, I'm going to align them with the notes that you've discovered. Do. Do.
okay.
There.
Okay.
Me.
Okay, I might have something.
Fa.
I think
So.
I have a pattern. I just have to actually
Le.
figure out how to enter it cleanly.
Re. Me. Fa. Oh, this is fun for me. Sorry.
New text file. Go.
As you continue to investigate, hitting chimes to their cleared notes, Javik, you feel the sword you're hoarding, Crusader's Swordsword, commune with you through feelings of foreboding dread. As you approach the door, the foreboding dread grows more intense. Something evil lies beyond this door, and the sigil as well.
Not now, Sword. I got a fucking song to figure out. I'll deal with it in a sec. I'm just really into this right now.
Yeah. No.
Okay, can I at least
kill
just
half
see-
an hour? Introduce puzzles in D&D. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, me and Ramirez are on the same thing then, because that's the numbers that I'm getting too.
What numbers? did
No,
you get?
wait.
Oh,
I
oh,
have something different. I have something different.
Oh, you typed them out. Okay, so for the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 is wait. Yes. Well, 10. Like do re mi fa si la si do whatever fa is just an upward sequence, right? That's like just alignment of the bells. You figure that out. So you don't need to write it out again. I'm gonna assume that you're gonna start each of your attempts with yeah?
Yeah.
Then there's the next stanza, which is what I want you to type out, and you type in 1, 4, 6, 4, 2, 3, 9, 8, 10, 8, which plays the following melody. which is oh so close.
Yeah, I flipped one symbol.
There are 11 or 10 bells?
11 bells.
11. So I flipped one symbol, I think. Lowercase is going to be 11. Uppercase is going to be 6.
Please, morning lord, please help us all. Please
Right.
save us now. We are going
Lowercase
to
is
die.
going to be 11. Uppercase is going to be 2. Lowercase is going to be 10.
Ivan, give it a try. Maybe you can help your team.
Yeah, I'm here.
Lowercase is going to be 9. Lowercase is going to be 8.
I'll be a merciful god. I'm gonna say that for the sake of progression, you can see that the seal is progressively getting weaker as you do the essential
10
crescendo in the beginning, and then as Ramirez was doing his melody, it was continuing to like grow fainter, but then just like return to full strength as soon as the wrong note was hit.
So is that it?
Well, Do is the first and biggest bell, as well as Do on the.
Yeah.
Hey,
So the
hey.
pattern.
Yeah.
The
And then-
pattern being 1,
yes.
11, 6, 11, 2, 10, 9, 8, 10, 8.
Oh, I see what you did.
I had to decode it. I was gonna get order wrong if I didn't do it that way.
I was gonna say, because if it's capitalized, you probably give the lowest bell, right?
As soon as you hit the second last note, the seal goes back to full power.
You switch it to the 3. Switch it to 3.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Oh, wait. No, you know what? You're correct. I'm just bad at aligning notes. The seal is worn out. I'm sorry, guys. The seal is worn out. I'm just bad.
I was gonna say, that one wasn't uppercase.
Yeah, what I have
Yeah.
on my notes to compare is this, but you pretty much figure out the puzzle. You did according to the song. I wrote the song wrong. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so while the seal that's all happening, I'll think back on the sword now, because my brain is here again, and while the notes are playing, and I just get this feeling of dread, like you said, over me.
Yep.
I just kind of grasp the sword, and just kind of tense my hand on it, and I asked the party aloud while the song is being played. I was like, "Does anyone else feel that? That just awful sense of being almost watched or so? Just something powerful emanating from here. I can feel it. It's in the next room."
I don't, but
And I haven't heard any mongrels or anything.
yes.
I was never allowed to come through this side. I thought
Well,
this fire
swords
didn't
out.
protect the mongrels, but maybe there is for this room.
As you let the last note ring out, you see the magic seal upon the door vanish. The door swings outwards with a metallic sigh, opens just an inch, letting out cold mist trapped past its threshold. I'll go ahead and remove the doors.
We see that room, baby. I'm coming in. All right.
Light
All right,
from your
sword's out.
sword immediately dims.
Oh, it dims.
Oh yeah.
I can't see anything in there.
Is it pure black?
Solid black.
Unfortunate. Okay, I have an effect on it, which was really cool. But
Magical darkness.
But yeah, it was. But I guess whatever. We'll just pretend like it's magical darkness.
Oh, it is. Really?
Well, I mean, it's not magical darkness, but it's more
Oh.
like the light casting from your sword and if any of you are holding any other source of light, but especially light casting of your magical sword is dimmed to the point where you only see like this far. 1 second. And it's like dimmed. There you go. That's the effect of your sword.
I just like give a little shake to the sword, like a flashlight, like trying to shake it, like.
You never could adjust its light before. You're not gonna adjust its light
I
now.
My intelligence is 8.
It's broken.
It's broken. It no work.
Right.
I don't have any more torches to throw on the ground for anyone.
I can cast light.
On what? Javik, you're feeling a sense of dread. Probably better not to move for now, but I just want to handle one thing in time.
Yeah, I was just positioning myself in front of everyone so they can stay within the aura of the light.
Pretty wise. I'm gonna have the wizard in the back as he's cautiously, and then the zombie in front of him. Yep. But Vasilka, you want to cast light on what?
I'll grab one coin and cast light on it and just roll it or throw it because I see that there are things on the floor.
Oh.
Yep.
Throw it to the other side.
So
I want to grab that wrist right before she leaves and be like, "Do we?" Oh well, never mind.
So
we already made a bunch of noise.
first, or you can smear your phosphorescent arcana upon the coin, and you can see right away that the usual like 20-foot bright light shed out of it is dimmed to about half the radius in this room. So you two are shedding light while you're holding it, but it only goes so far, and it's choked at the edges. Like so. Your dark vision is fucked as well, which I'm adjusting token by token actually. Very
because I can see everything on the room.
Yeah, which is why I didn't put anything in this room at all, because I was like, they're gonna walk in and see. Your dark vision is halved, so 30, and then dimming at 15. Sorry, Ramirez, this is a temporary thing. Same with you. So it's 30, dimming at 15. And then Javik, you don't have dark vision. Zombie does not have sight. Okay, so if I would look through your vision, yes. Okay, so even with your dark vision dimmed, the two of you with dark vision can see to about the end of this room the following. The room is cold, dark, seemingly muting your light sources. This spacious chamber containing bed frames of wrought iron arranged in neat rows, 2 of them. Cobwebs and bits of rotten mattress cling to each frame. There is a pervasive feeling of melancholy to this bleak place. It is as if a blanket of despair settles upon you, distressing the senses and invoking in you a feeling of being marooned in Twisted Barovia forever. The oppressive dark grows even dimmer. Anxiety builds as you sense a shared feeling that you might never find a way out of this room. A desperate panic finds its way to the back of your minds. You look around. You hear the shuffle of your companions as they make their way in. Those of you with dark vision, see 3 doors spaced along the south wall over yonder on the side of the room, each with a plaque mounted on it. From west to east, letters embedded in the wrought read: Operating room, nursery, and barely visible at the edge of your vision, morgue. Morgue. A chill runs down your spines. You look behind you, and to your horror find the door that led you here is gone. Not shut, gone. Light held in hand flickers and sputters against the unholy, unnatural darkness throughout. And Vasilka, you're holding onto that coin. Are you still tossing it into the room?
Savik stopped me, I think.
Well,
No, we already made all this fucking noise coming in with bells, so they already. Whatever's
In
here
that-
is probably
In
very
that
well aware.
case, yes, I'll toss it
okay,
on
sure.
the other end of the
So I wonder if I actually have the coin token still. I think I do. My library, and then coin. Let's make it like a nice golden color. There it is.
I'm gonna
and
take
it's
my vial
casting
of
light.
holy water and just put it on like one of my pouches.
Yeah, close
like
to
on
chest.
my belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the dark vision in my dark vision somewhat failing me, I will take the moon touched blade and kind of reposition it from the sheath that it's normally in. I'll unsheath it and then hook it through some cloth in the front, so it's kind of glowing in front of me, providing a little bit of light. Minimal light.
What's the casting of it? The light?
15-15.
15. It's dimmed, but it's effective. Here you go. It's in front of you. Alright. The feeling of despair grows. As you throw the light source away from you, it abandons you, it clings towards the center of the room between the bed frames onto the floor, casting long shadows throughout the room, catching the frame of something. From somewhere at the far end of the room, you hear a shuddering breath and a faint voice, weeping, crying.
Hello. Don't mean you any harm.
How far does your vision go, Ramirez, as you address the weeping? It's in this corner.
To right here. I can't see it.
It's barely visible, a silhouette in the darkness, hunched in the corner. In the
Hello?
far corner of the room, it continues weeping, not really replying. Shrouded by the gloom and seated on the floor facing away from you, Ramirez, away from your group, is a gaunt man, weeping with his head clasped in his hands. He sits with his knees bent in front of him in a near fetal position, rocking back and forth as he continues to shudder and cry. You continue addressing it, and it just continues to You approach, you barely can see into it. Roll me a perception check with disadvantage, because unfortunately, even with your dark vision, you're looking to a dark corner.
Okay. One second, let me talk on
Vasilka closes her
disadvantage.
eyes altogether. She is frightened. 15, nice, even with disadvantage. Okay, the figure is naked, gaunt, the flesh stretched over its tall frame, his spine ridges running down his back as he continues facing away from you and just kind of rocking back and forth. He seems emaciated, hungry, starved. Then he stops crying and slowly turns his face around. The visage is contorted, skeletal, and twisted into a mockery of utter grief. A wide, toothy maw hangs loose, jaw agape, and featuring yellow teeth. It has two glassy, pale, pupilless eyes. It moves slowly. You see its hand come out of its side, ending in a hooked claw. Another arm emerges from its back, then another, like a spider sprawling out, all ending in these long, sharp hooks. It rises to stand, even hunched as it is. Standing, it looms 9 feet tall in the corner. It stares at you for a moment. Then you hear it emit this mournful sound, like crying, that grows into a panicked scream, just this. And it just shambles forward, dropping down on all its many hands and moving forward much quicker than you anticipated. Roll me initiative.
Absolutely not.
I'll open the door that doesn't exist anymore.
You turn around, panically trying to bang on the door behind you. It's just wall.
I'm gonna Kool-Aid Man my way out of here, back through.
But be sure to press
You
on your
guys-
token as you're rolling initiative, unless it's not showing on my end for some reason.
Did you guys
Yeah.
play the Evil Within?
No.
What?
I was in my the Evil Within.
Uh-uh.
Oh,
Also, out of curiosity, does everyone else have this chunk here is solid black?
Okay, so my dynamic
No,
gifts are not
with
working. That's
tokens?
fine. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. Sorry about that. So you guys want to see what this thing looks like in its full form as it's crawling out of darkness towards you?
Yeah.
I already posted what it looks like.
Okay.
I want to see.
It's
Show-
SCP-96.
Oh.
Oh, not SCP-96.
So what you're basically telling me, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Xenomorph.
multiple attacks.
Maybe.
fudge! Don't say that. Don't say that.
So I see
Yes.
Vasilka, Javik, Ramirez, who did not roll initiative here. We have
Casimir and
Zomboy acts as its own initiative, and this thing is on its initiative as well. You see something else also moving in the shadows, but you're not sure what it is yet because it's in the other corner. But it's in with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and sort in descending order. Oh, okay. It's roll a 20. It's gonna go ahead and shamble, all crying all the while, toward the source of light, just pushing apart and away these bed frames as it moves. That's 20 into the light before Ramirez. Ramirez, you see the 4 spiky arms lash out around you. It's going to go ahead and make an attack against you, ruling for 24 to hit.
hit.
Wow.
For 21 piercing damage, as one arm pierces through one of your legs, pinning you down in spot. And then the other 3 arms attempt to grapple you like a spider pulling in prey. That's going to be 18 to hit.
I'm
18
gonna.
will miss.
Okay. So,
Ivan, say it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I'm gonna use my reaction to give disadvantage. And
Oh.
I'm gonna throw a source of light in his eyes just as he's trying to hit Ramirez. If it's not too late. If not, it's okay.
it wasn't too late because you wanted to speak up, but you couldn't because I was speaking. Next time you'll have to actually reaction me, okay? So
Yeah.
another arm spike, 24 or 15 to hit. With disadvantage, he misses both attacks. One of the arms just crashes into the floor, scraping against the stone, chinking it, and the other 3 clash around as it continues to engage Ramirez there. Ramirez suffers no damage as more things move out of the shadows. That's 20 leaping across. Yeah, it's gonna run across the room, making its way all the way here. Ramirez, we have 10 to hit.
10 will miss.
Nice. You managed to quickly react and dodge. You can see these things coming out at you out of the dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Ramirez, it is your turn.
I'll give it a little bit of a laugh. Try to be nice. Wasn't very polite if you tried to stab me and give me an hug I didn't want. I will go ahead and Giant Might. I would like to be big.
Just enough room for you to be big as you're right against the ceiling. Yeah.
And
Pushing
then
away bed frames and such.
I will go ahead and take 2 hacks at the first guy who attacked me. Using voltage. So 19 to hit.
Versus one?
The first one to strike at me.
Mm-hmm.
So this
19 to hit. Give me a moment because for some reason I don't have their AC on here. But
You're a bad boy.
But pretty sure. Just let me look it up real quick. Come on. AC of... Okay, and you rolled... That hits.
I will go ahead and pump Giant's Might into that hit. So total of 7, 8, 9, or 14. 3 of that is lightning. And attack the second against the same guy. 16.
16 hits.
Also for 14.
Okay.
4 of that is lightning.
As it's missed with its attack because of flare flight, you see as it hit its eyes. It is not quick enough to dodge either. They both hit for full effect with voltage being a magic weapon. So, what's my total damage there?
28, because both hits were 14.
Okay, so as you lacerate through it with a sword, you can see the skin begin to burn up and become like paper thin and frail in the light against your magic weapon.
And that would be my bonus action, and I will choose to stay right where I am.
Alright. From out of the shadows and the far reaches of the room, you hear the shifting of leather, the crackle of bone. Something large steps out of the shadows, making the boards creak. It is quite large as Ramirez is right now, scraping its long, bony tail across the floor as it moves furniture around. And it speaks first in an infernal tongue that slowly morphs into this guttural common. Welcome. We get few supplicants here nowadays. Of your obvious experience and skill, you shall do well in service here at the monastery once I'm done shifting this place now that the Deva is gone. But that service, what will it be? With strength of your bodies or the strength of your minds? Let's put it to the test. Out of the shadows,
Fuck that guy.
a figure emerges. It is how do I describe him? A being of bone, donning a patchwork leather robe and a gleaming crown of some sort. It carries a scepter-like hooked, like a not a spear, more like a glaive, and you see its hands, while bony, are covered in this metallic flanges. It taps its arm against the ceiling, showing off nails set with these gleaming metallic shards. It is going to go ahead and fly because it spreads out wings from its back. These insect-like wings that flutter out of the cloak, and just scraping the ceiling here, it's going to go ahead onto this space here and engage with first zombie. For 13, I believe that hits against its AC. For 7 slashing. It still has temporary hit points. I believe you guys do too as well.
Yep, everybody should have 14 of those.
Zavik, a second claw comes out at you. You can see the gleam of the metal as it scrapes against the fresh armor that you have and leaves lacerations in it. It's cutting through it. 22 to hit.
It hits.
10 slap.
I will go ahead and runic shield that.
I could take it. 10's not bad. I'm just worried about those last ones if you want.
Okay.
Okay. As you can see, yep.
If Zavik doesn't seem concerned, I will not then.
As you reach for the rune engraved upon your gear for that runic shield magic, you think again, only to lift your eyes to see the devilish fiend crouch low and bring out his whipping-like stinger at you. So he's going to go ahead and hit you, Ramirez, for an actual 27. I'm gonna have it. Yep.
Yeah, 27 will hit. I will go ahead and runic shield that hit against me.
It's a 27.
No, unfortunately,
Holy
runic shield
fuck.
has a problem. Runic shield forces him to re-roll and use the selected roll, which is why it fails. And so, force the attacker to re-roll the d20 and use the new roll.
Oh.
Runic shield is really bad.
Okay, well, off the bat, I believe you don't have any resistance to piercing, so that will be 18 piercing damage from the stinger. And then the Constitution saving throw against what you can feel is poison pump into your veins.
Okay, so one thing I do have with that is I have advantage on my poison saves, and I have resistance to poison.
Nice.
Don't negate
That's fine.
that.
An 11 unfortunately does not succeed, but you do have resistance to poison damage, which will only point at 18 poison damage additionally.
Okay.
If you're looking for a total you received, it will be at 36.
I got that.
Okay. And I believe you're poisoned, unfortunately, for 1 minute, and you can repeat the save against it. So for the time being, you are poisoned. That being said, it is cast. Oh my god, fucking NPCs after NPCs, aren't they? Okay. Let's see what big spells Casimir holds.
Big ape.
Big aim. Alright. So Casimir is gonna go ahead and that's gonna hit you guys because you're all wall in front of him. What is this? Each creature within a 20-foot radius. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna put his token down to mark how big it is. You see him grab a pinch of dust and a few drops of water, mix them in his hands, and they freeze over in his hand. And he casts his hand forward past the monsters into the center of the room. How far can you see? Yes. Okay, so it's gonna be a 20-foot radius. I'm gonna say it hits all of them but you guys. As he casts Ice Storm at 5th level. Starting from this one. What is combat? There we go. So we have dexterity saving throws on this guy. Fails. Meets beats. This one meets beats. And this guy fails. Okay, so Javid, go ahead with your turn as I handle that. As you see an ice storm begin to form from the center of the room and hail all around toward them, just bludgeoning them with these like baseball-sized balls of hail.
Yeah, if I was to move here though, would I be in that hail?
Let me see if it's concentration. No, it's instantaneous. It just spreads out. While it's past its casting, anything in the area I'm going to mark in a little bit is difficult terrain. Okay. So let me just mark where he cast it. Okay, that's fair. I need the ruler. So from here, 20. Come on, try it. Fucking Christ. Sorry, guys. The Roll20 is not being cooperative with me for a second here.
Oh, fuck, I forgot. Crusader's Mantle is a concentration.
Yes.
There's the area that's difficult terrain.
And an action. Okay.
I have too many things open on me. So where did you want to move to?
I was gonna say, whatever... Oh. It's not dragging all my stuff here. I was gonna say, well... Technically, if I go here, I'm flanking.
You're fine. You're not in difficult terrain, and you are flanking, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna move there. And Jesus Christ. You know, these guys hit hard. Alright, I'm just going to rage, and I'm going to drop the sword underneath where I'm at, and my hands will turn into claws, still have my shield in claw, and then I'm going to just rip into the first guy here.
You see the hail
With
ice
claws.
bash against his cloak and his bones, and he seems to be resisting the cold damage, but taking the majority of that bludgeoning damage being magical. You go ahead and swing with a flank strike against him.
Yeah, oops. Let me make sure I have advantage on. Claws. 23 for 10. Oh, wait. I forgot to put rage on. That's 13 total for that one.
Nice.
Second one. Yeah! Natty.
Awesome.
Actually, I have brutal critical. Is that something that should be auto-loaded right
It's
there?
auto-loaded onto your sheet.
Okay.
If you look into your dice, it should be.
Okay, I guess that is done. Wait. Again, as you roll one additional weapon damage die.
It should be applied automatically, dude.
Okay, but isn't that already a critical? So then, therefore, I should get a third die, technically.
It's
'Cause if
already a
critical
third
rolls
die in there.
twice-
No?
Is there?
If not, then you roll another one.
1d8
don't-
plus 4.
Yeah, it doesn't look it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Go for it. Roll a third die.
Slash roll 1d8.
For
Or
a
excuse
total-
me, that's it's a 1d6 for the claw. 4.
For a total of?
That's 9, 10, 14.
Nice. And it's all magical damage?
Yes.
You're rendering him for full effect.
And then I...
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I already used bonus for rage, and then I'm just going to go for the third one. 421. And that's 8, 9, 10, 11.
21 hits. Nice. 11 damage additionally.
Cool.
Fucking brutal, man. Alright.
And just letting out like a beast grunt, like as I'm just trying to move, just digging into him with my claws, just tearing at bone, flesh, sinew, whatever's there.
Oh yeah, it's like it's a little bit of both. It's like you sinewy bone, unnatural flesh stitched together, past a coat of what you can see is like a bunch of morphed, mongrelly faces stitched together into like a robe. That's what happens when
Oh, you
divine
said
being-
mongrel faces?
mongrel faces, yeah. Hundreds of them stitched in a cloak.
Sucks to suck.
As he like retreats back and he's trying to like shrug off the damage, you can see like he took off like a finger in one hand and he has to like reset his like fucking jaw in place and he just hisses and snarls in your face. He's not quite blooded, but he's getting there. He's gonna go ahead and focus his attacks on you. It looks like. Basilica.
Baby bitch.
Yeah.
She will extend her wings on. She will be covered by a ball of fire. It will start to get less hot to my friends. Flickers of fire is gonna be circling on and casting Spirit Guardian. So everyone has to do a DC 15 or of Wisdom or suffer damage.
Okay, starting from
Everyone?
the enemies because it gets to pick and choose.
Every
Oh.
enemy. Yeah.
Okay.
Why is not rolling damage? Let me see. Okay.
5,
Some
12,
good
13. I think they all failed. Nice. So as they get assailed by these celestial motes of light that spread around, you can see the light assailing these creatures is literally like tearing them apart like burning paper. All right. So what is the total damage for failed saves?
21.
21.
Yeah.
Bloodied. Bloodied as well, and then Bone Devil is probably bloodied as well. Yikes. Nice. And it's ongoing?
Yeah, so technically they should be taking that damage at the start of their... If they start their turn in the effect, or if they move into the effect for the first time on that turn.
On a turn.
Yeah, on a turn.
Well, okay. Okay, I'll note that. Fair enough.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Zombie's gonna go ahead and begin assailing the large demon on Casimir's command. He's gonna go ahead and roll that attack. More sheets. Woo! Slam. For 5. He's trying his best. Okay, we have the two lost. Starting with this one over here, starting his turn, minus 21 damage as he gets assailed by the radiant light. I believe... Yes, it's normal damage. Oh, medium, smaller. He cannot embrace you. Nice. Nice move. Okay, so it's gonna go ahead and attempt an arm spike attack against you, Ramirez, for a natural 20, and 20.
I will go ahead and this time not use Runic Shield. I'm going to use my Storm Rune reaction to redirect that natural 20 against the Bone Devil.
Nasty. Okay, that strikes the Bone Devil due to your trickery for a total of 16 plus 9.
I just kind of deflect it slightly with the sword, sending it into the Bone Devil.
Just like, oh, you fool! Just wedges the spike out of him and just continues facing Javik.
You really should get better help.
Oh god, alright, and then we have the second hit against you was 23.
23 unfortunately does hit me.
For 19 piercing damage.
Ow.
Alright. The second one over here is going to attempt to shove beneath your legs. It's going to be a context of its strength. It gets us legs plus 6, so plus 3 to that for a total of 19. Versus you can attempt a strength athletics contest against it if you want to block it. Otherwise, it will like scuttle beneath your feet.
I'm assuming that I don't need my reaction for that.
No, you don't need your reaction.
Okay. So this is a strength check, so I have advantage on this.
Okay.
Although it's normal because I'm poisoned, right? Because poisoned is disadvantage on ability checks, or is it just attack rolls?
Disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay, so this is a normal, and it's athletics?
Yes.
Okay. No.
Okay, so it scuttles beneath you, pushing apart your feet as you're dealing with this one, and it's going to scuttle, and it's going to embrace Vasilica.
Mm-hmm.
If it hits. That's a 14 against your AC.
I'll give her I'll use my reaction to give him disadvantage.
Flare?
Yes, flare.
Flare his eyes for another 14.
Oh my god. He embraced me.
He's like, 2 of his arms are like covering his eyes as he tries to forward. The other 2 like, yeah.
14. I need a breastplate.
All right, so that is gonna be, my friend, 37 piercing damage as it presses you against its body, and you're grappled.
Okay.
And you're frightened.
I'm frightened. Okay.
You are embraced. Is the condition? But yes. That's fatigue. Where's frightened? But anyways.
Spirit Guardian fails.
I will say he should have had. It should have been double movement speed to get in because it's difficult terrain within Spirit Guardians.
Oh yeah.
Let me check this. if you're going... Okay. It uses movement.
Okay.
Alright. So you're embraced. Ramirez, it's your turn.
Okay. And the save is end of my turn, right?
Save is at the end of your turn, I believe. Let me check it again. Sting can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success.
Heal Rune activate for bonus action, so my belt starts to glow as defenses. So it goes up. I will then go ahead and take 2 swings with my sword at the guy who has embraced Silica. So with disadvantage, 18 to hit.
Hits.
For
Damn.
a lot.
18 plus 5 is 23.
Yes. And second attack at disadvantage 16.
You've wounded it gravely. You can see in the light of Javik's sword, it's still being singed by that effect that makes the skin paper thin. How do you want to do this?
I'm just going to say, get off of my friends. Run through its head. Just kind of pull its head off with the sword.
It just cries one last cry and pull its head off, and
I will then say, this is getting tiresome. Action surge.
Oh, this is fun. So when you first hit it, Vasilika, you take 48. We take 20 psych damage.
Holy fuck!
Okay, along with the previous 37. I don't know if you're marking off your HP, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, it does die after the second hit.
So I action surge, and I'm now going to take 2 swings at the Bone Devil. At disadvantage, so 18.
No, you have it at normal because.
Oh, at normal. Good point. Normal because I'm flanking.
Mm-hmm. An 18 does hit. Does not hit, actually. He has like this plate bone armor that doesn't get through.
I'm actually going to redirect. I'm going to redirect my second swing and go after the other little guy. That double click. Sorry,
That's
first
okay.
one just a 12.
It's just 12 does not hit. He dodges out of the way like crouching low like a spider. But you are acting as a nice wall.
Yep, and then I will go ahead and make my saving throw. My disadvantage on saves from poisons? I think so. So it would be normal on my con. So I have advantage, so. 21.
That does it. You feel the sickness withering away as you pump out the poison out of you. The giant's might and the giant's gift curing you.
Yeah. Well then, let's go. And I will center myself against the Bone Devil.
Nice. Okay. Preparing for the wars. The Bone Devil is going to focus his attacks on Javik. Javik.
He needs to roll wisdom saves though first, right? For Spirit Guardians.
No,
he failed.
it failed.
I rolled before. He failed. He took the 21
Oh,
damage.
that's right. Okay.
He takes the damage now. But yes.
Gotcha.
That being said, he's gonna go ahead and focus his hooked pull arm on you. He's gonna go ahead and swing it. It's rolling. 17 to hit.
Fail.
Rebounds against the armor you're wearing there. And it's 2 attacks. One of its. Oh, and then it's gonna go ahead and redirect its sting into you, Javik. That is gonna be a 25 to hit.
Yeah.
hits your abdomen. He lifts you off the floor momentarily and against the wall, just scraping your back against him as he lifts you up, and you can feel the poison pump. I'm gonna have you make me a constitution saving throw there.
Oh wait, that was
meets beats.
yeah.
Nice. So that or become poisoned. Okay, so you just 15 piercing damage, but you're raging. So half, that'll be 7.
7, 19.
The Spirit Guardian failed before his
So
turn.
you don't
he
suffer the
shouldn't
poison
have
damage because
damage.
you don't receive. Oh no, it's just for the poison condition. Never mind. You do receive 12 poison damage. So 19, yes. And then the singer goes out, and you're back onto your feet against the wall there, heaving. That is it for its turn. Also, I forgot to do something here. So what did I roll for a wisdom save before? 23? Cool. You see it shake off the effect of the Spirit Guardians because it's magic resistant. Sorry I'm doing this post, but at least I'm catching it during his turn. Casimir's gonna go ahead, having spent 5th level spell slot, recover from that. And he's gonna go ahead and...
So he casted a 5th level spell, and how much damage did he do last time? Like 20?
A lot, but
With a cone? A lot. It was a heavy hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he's gonna
they didn't
continue.
hit all of them.
He's gonna continue channeling the Ice Storm for lesser effect as the Arcana is fading, just using a 4th level spell slot this time, but continue channeling that. He's gonna cast at the same spot there. It's gonna hit the Bone Devil, and it's gonna hit the last remaining guy there for their respective dexterity saving throws. Bone Devil gets hit for the full effect.
Oh, but the Bone Devil was resistant to it.
Resistant
earlier, I think.
cold, so it is -6, but he's still he's getting bloody.
Yeah,
You see chips, and there's a vile, deep red blackish ichor leaking out of his lacerations and bludgeon points. I'm pretty sure this guy, if he doesn't save, he's gonna go ahead and vanish out of this combat. We'll see. Dexterity saving throw for perfect lethal. 17 is all you need to hit for him. And he is in the light because of the coin. So Vasilika, your coin toss actually killed this guy. Nice.
I knew it.
In the light, they're helpless. In the dark, they're weeping and resistant to everything, magical or otherwise. But this guy is dead. Now, of this plane, it is banished. The devil fights alone. Panicking, he looks to flee. Javik, seeing the bludgeoned floor of the room rime with frost as the hail continues, what do you do?
I'm going to just keep going at this guy, but gonna switch it up. I'm gonna do one attack with the claw. I am at advantage. Claws. For a 29, 10, that's 12 right there. I'm then going to use a bonus action with my shield and shove him and try to prone him.
Nice. So that's gonna be a strength on him.
Correct. Versus, is it my? Yeah, it's my strength. I don't have a DC save.
13 versus your 18.
Do I do that? Yeah.
And you
You're
prone large creatures, right?
Shield. You take an action in your turn. You can use a bonus action to try and shove a creature within 5 feet of your shield. It just says a creature.
I'll allow it.
And should that be a strength save or a strength check?
That did a save or a check.
Creatures don't have saves unless it's detailed.
No, Zavik.
Yeah, why was that a?
Oh, well, I'm taking the roll, so it
I can reroll.
probably beats at 13 anyways. So
Do you want me to reroll it?
Rolls 10. I'm assuming Zavik.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Strength.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it
don't
will
know
be
why
at 13.
that
Yeah.
So you're good.
Fuck yeah.
You may.
He's fucked. Alright, he's prone. 2 other attacks coming in. Another claw. 19 for 15.
Oof, fucking nice.
And then a 29 for 14 plus another d6. For 2, 16 for the last one.
That's nice. So, fucking Christ, dude, you're lacerating him.
There's times where I just pop off, and then there's just times where it's just like not happening.
He's still somehow standing, but you can see him. He's panicked. Vasilika, it is your turn.
Oh, I'll cast Sacred Flame on him.
Okay.
He has to do a DC 16 of Dexterity.
That's a 4 or 17 he saves.
He saves. That's it.
The light has abandoned this space long ago. You will not finish me, so I will be back. Zombie's gonna do his best. Zombie's gonna be MVP and finish him off.
Do it, Charles.
Oh my god, dude.
Body slam him.
I'm just gonna roll a d20 because this sheet is not like. Oh, d12 plus 3, 15 misses. Going. He's trying his best. He's providing flanking somehow. The Lost are dead. Ramirez, you large boy, are up on deck.
Blade's Curse. And then I will go ahead and take 2 stabs at this guy with my voltage sword. So let's see what I get.
First stab for 25 to hit flanking, nice. For a total of 12 plus 15.
Plus throwing a giant smite on that one.
6, that's what you needed. How do you want to do this?
I just kind of go, light hasn't quite died. And I will drive my sword right through where his heart should be.
Trying to, like, and on top of you can guess where his heart is, you shove your sword. You can see him grab with his claws the sword as it goes in, and the sparks flying against your magic sword as those metallic claws grind against it. And he's trying very hard to squeeze his grip to stop the sword from going all the way in as horror spreads across him, and he hisses with pain. You shove it with force, and you actually slice off some of his fingers that land on the floor as he becomes an engulfment of fire and brimstone and screams into the darkness, briefly illuminating the whole room as he just explodes out into like hot coals.
And I will go as darkness that I had cast around him absorbs back into me, healing me.
Nice.
A tiny bit.
As you've slain the infernal thing, you hear the clatter of metallic things upon the floor. Looking down at your feet, you can see his fingers are burning off, leaving behind scorched metal claws. Large claws. But the metal remains. Shards of something broken against the devil, and has since then been used to replace his claws.
Like a Freddy Krueger claw?
Yeah, exactly. But like it's like big old shards, like huge ones. They would probably fit any of you guys' hands if you put it on. But the claws are like they're like a good like foot long. Yeah, Freddy Krueger, exactly.
Let me take a look at these. These have piqued my interest.
Okay, so Javik,
Yes.
as you catch your breath and you shake off the poison from your veins, you can try either an Arcana or a Perception check for me to like identify what you're holding in your hands.
I'll do perception.
Okay. The hailing spell slowly dissipates. The
11.
terrain melts away. And 11? Okay, so you can tell that the metal is not natural by seeing how it clashed against your magical blade. Did not shatter, not even chip. It is magical of some nature, you're just not sure what exactly that nature is, but you can tell the obvious. It's magical in some sort of way, resistant, and wicked sharp. Like, it keeps an edge like a motherfucker. It rings out when you kind of like press it against your blade or clink the claws together, Freddy Krueger style. It emits this like nice like metallic ring.
I like it. Yes.
Let's look good on you. Give them a try. And I'll pick up a piece of debris and toss it lightly in the air at Zavik as he has the claw on.
And then I just
roll me a d20.
Actually, just with one finger.
Roll me a d20.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You baseball bat it away, and it leaves a fair chink in it. It doesn't seem to rend wood and stone as wickedly as expected, but perhaps something else.
I'll have to see. I'll have to do a little bit more research on this when the time comes. Perhaps Casimir can take a look at it, or maybe if we visit the doctor.
The sword in your hands hates the thing in your other hand.
You be quiet and cheat him. I have the claw.
Not only does it hate it, it fears it.
We'll take a look at it later more.
You sure?
Well, I mean, like, if I can't decipher the magic and
You can't decipher it right away, but I'll allow you to keep investigating it if you want.
Well, actually, real quick, I have the claws, but when I have the sword in the other hand, I'm sensing that it doesn't like the claws. But can I sense the dread and everything that's coming from the sword? Like, could I tell a separate difference? Is it still dreading if there's something else in here, or did we get what it was?
You feel pride from the sword when you think of the evil thing you vanquished just now. The last remnant of it, however, held in your hand, it fears. The dread was coming as a warning from there's evil beyond this door, and the steel that you're removing is allowing it to escape. Putting two and two together, I'm not gonna be coy. This infernal thing has done its fair damage to the place, kind of investigating it. It seems after the abbot left, feeling itself cocky and being able to like rummage around now that the celestial thing is gone, right? And as soon as it walked into this room, it walked into one of the abbot's traps and the door sealed. Now that you've vanquished it and it's out of this room, you look back and you can see the door you walked back in. It's right there. It's where you left it.
Nice.
Open. It's like a celestial version of Magic Circle.
Okay.
This entire room is, yeah.
If I want to check out the claws more, is that going to take time, or is it just something
it's going to take you like maybe 5-10 minutes. Meanwhile, Basilica can investigate anything she wants. For example, the Herbalist book, and Ramirez can investigate everything he wants or take advantage of his large form. I don't know how long that lasts, buddy.
It lasts all of a minute, so I will relatively quickly just open up the...
Okay.
I'll open the door to... Which one was this one here? That was morgue?
Morgue.
I will open the morgue door in the last couple moments before I shrink down, and while I've still got Hill Rune up. As basically if there's something there, I want one round of this left.
Okay. As you open up that room, large as you are, trying to break the handle of the door, you open it. You smell the rancid stench of death. Opening the door, you come upon a grim sight. 12 corpses exhumed from their graves, their tattered clothes soiled with dirt, lie here. Amid the rotting dead, you note not a body not yet succumbed to the full putrescence of late-stage decay. Partially preserved by the cold, the corpse of a young girl lies atop the heap. She appears no older than 10 years old. She wears a small pendant made of silver and gold featuring a family crest. the Morning Lord's son above a set of some city gates. Her tattered and soiled black silk clothes feature platinum lacing at the cuffs shaped like winter flowers and snowflakes and the like.
I might have the big dumb, but is that the burgomaster's daughter? Not that we would know that.
Almost certainly.
Roll me a history check, Javik, as you're trying to just make sense of what you see here. And maybe, just maybe tonight, you roll above a 10. Nope!
No, big dumb. I'm too busy.
Some noble, exhumed from the graves. You don't even know what that sigil means or what the fuck. No idea. Anybody's guess. Pain. Pain.
Yeah, and at that point, I probably shrink back down to
Yeah, the room
normal
doesn't
size.
hold any other threats other than the dead. Sorry.
I don't know, some noble. Anyways, got some sweet claws, guys.
Okay,
Yes.
so Javik, I'm not gonna torture you this. What you're holding in your hands, and you look onto Ramirez, like whatever rune giant magic trickery you're doing, you saved me and you both from a terrible thing. Because should these blades have found their mark, natural 20, it would have resulted in, no kidding, one of you guys dying. These things
shit, really?
in your hands, they're Vorpal blades. The remnants of a Vorpal sword that shattered against the devil's hand at one point, and the devil's like, nice, and just took him for himself, and pretty much made a little Freddy Krueger claw out of the sword's remains. And
Dick.
yeah, it's just like a fist weapon, Vorpal blade. Does anybody not know what a Vorpal blade is?
I don't know, but I know it's sick.
That's a thing. That's
Wow.
Those are impressive, terrifying.
So-
Link me stuff. I want to nerd out.
Vorpal blade on crit decapitation.
So,
It's also the only known weapon
So-
to be able to kill the Jabberwock.
essentially this magic weapon, you feel more proficient kind of wielding it. It's easier to hit things with it, and it's more lie and slices through the air. It feels like a part of you when you wear it. Plus, so and so to your attacks and damage. In addition, the weapon ignores resistances to slashing damage. If something is resistant to slashing damage, it ignores it. When you attack a creature that has at least one head with this weapon, and you roll a natural 20 on the attack roll, you cut off its head. The creature either takes a massive amount of slashing damage or straight up dies. And the various conditions of when that happens are up to DM really, but it's ridiculous if you crit with it.
Yes.
That's
Can creatures survive without head? If not, it dies.
Yeah, it depends on DM. There's more conditions to it, but yes.
What about Strahd?
You'll have to find out.
Oh, okay.
But I can't stress enough how so many things in Barovia come with a price, and your other blade hates the thing in your hand.
Yeah, but
Okay.
but Vorpal's pretty cool.
But Sadik love it, so
How much do you know about the Nine Hells? Let me lore dump you what this object is. Anyways.
I have no idea.
Vasilica, just so you're doing something as well, you want to roll me a religion check real quick? As you're looking into the snowy, rime-frosted floor around, and the water melting off the walls, and the ashen remnants of that devil. 24. Yeah, I knew it, dude. You get a sense that this is not the last time you're gonna see this infernal creature. Even in Barovia, those infernal of origin, much like Father in Celestial origin, belong to a separate sphere of existence. And upon death, simply return to it. Should it be willing, this creature will return for that thing that Javik is holding. It's not something one abandons behind. An infernal creature will find its way as it has found its way before. That is sort of like the thought that comes to your mind, knowing of infernal beings, devils, and such. I'm not gonna lore dump you about the 9 hells and all that because it's gonna take a whole hour. But yeah, you can ask me in RP and I can answer. All right.
Maybe we should keep that blade away. A treasure
Or
like that will make it come back. It will haunt you, Savik.
Yeah.
or we don't do that, and I just become very powerful.
Yeah. So, looking around the room, Casimir kind of just looks at your wounds that you suffered. Thanks you for being like a wall before him. One step closer to getting this place cleaned up. This was a good fight. Vasilika, you look wounded. You've proved yourself more useful than anything I would ever be able to raise. Well, perhaps with exception to Ramirez, of course. But you look hurt. Here, let me do what I can to thank you for everything you've done. He extends his hand out toward the zombie, who has done fucking nothing this entire round, and puts use to him. As you see necrotic tethers leech out of the zombie, drawing life essence out of it. And it forms a mote of this dark crimson energy in his hand and touches Vasilika with it. Casting life transference. You receive 16 points of healing and then some as he continues to leech out energy out of the zombie, killing it and giving you a total of 36. Oh, twice necrotic damage. Oh, sheesh! So how much would that be? 16 plus 20 is 36. 36 times 2. Oh, that's a good spell. 72 points of healing.
Feeling healthier than ever in my life, or my existence. I'm full up.
The cloak and the zombie fall on the floor as it's now motionless. Sheesh! Life transforms is so much more powerful than I expected. Nice.
Thank you. She said with some awkwardness on her face, even when she's awkward.
Yeah. He'll leave you to it to discuss events as they are. It is 9:30. I feel like some people want to go. We can call it here. I can even take it a step further and give you guys the benefit of RPing the rest of this if you want. There isn't really any threat left in the Abbey. If you were to take your time to explore the morgue, the other rooms, you will find more stuff, right? We can leave it for next session or we can leave it for RP. It's up to you guys. But I think we can. Do you guys want to keep going or do you want to call it here?
I can keep going, but I don't know if the guys are up.
Yeah, how do you guys feel?
I wouldn't mind actually ending because I need to hop into another Discord here pretty soon because it's Friday night and we're gonna be ripping up some stuff in another game.
Yeah.
But I do want to. I'll probably be in RP doing more stuff with the claws and everything.
Your dark vision returns as the creature that was deeming it is vanquished. For those of you who have dark vision, Zavik, you have your full light. But yeah, we'll call it here for sure.
I'll pick up the killer coin.
Yes, that was a very, very useful coin.
You deserve praise for that because that's a very interesting use of it.
Inspiration.
Sure. You know what? If you don't already have one, yeah, that was a very good use. Because these creatures here, they're fuckers in the dark. Like dim and darkness, they're fuckers. They'll hit you for like a lot, and they have resistance to like almost like everything, magic or not. So that light was really melting them during the entire combat. So kudos.
Yeah.
It's your lucky coin now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to make sure that you guys have the lockbox in your inventory somewhere, so it's recorded.
Yeah, I I have it in my inventory. I have it as 20 pounds. Just let me know if I need to change that.
No, it's 20 pounds. I didn't have a weight for it. I'm gonna say 20 pounds, just judging by what it contains and how much it weighs by itself. Yeah. Yeah.
I can carry up to 570 pounds, so I'm pretty decent.
Nice. This was a good session. This was a fun session. I like the bells. You guys did good with the bells. I just fucked up because I wrote it wrong, but you guys pretty much solved it right away.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all good. And I'm just saying, just because, I mean, Vasika would recognize the symbol on the pendant being that of Kreshk. A sunrise above the city gates that match the Kreshk city gates. So, because, I mean, she learned about Kreshk enough to know. So if you put two and two together, you would know that this person at least belongs to the Kreshk family. Right? Or like somebody. I mean, look at their bodies. Are you not just gonna leave them here? I mean, it's all up to you.
Yeah. I assume I would at least know. I would also probably know the symbol because I know at least some of the general high-level politics stuff.
Sure.
I'll assume that she will push to take the bodies down or bring people up, but it could be like an awful idea for us.
Yeah,
for the people.
I agree. We should certainly want to get these bodies back to them, but we want to do so carefully.
Now you guys know where nobody went up to the Abbey yet. Somebody probably went up to them and like, oh fuck that shit. Why are they all dead? Fucking. They said the tank was a demon, but he's still here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, when the Abbot's protection is no longer in the Abbey, things will come for it. Yeah, I'm glad you guys had fun. I had fun too.
If we were to like make the sacrifice of that bone and put the Saint Markovia bone back into the church, whatever, would that like hollow or consecrate it or whatever? Make it holy
as a
land?
DM, I can't answer that question. You just have to try, right?
Okay.
But it's a sound idea. It worked before.
Yeah. I mean, that's up to the Silica too, if you want to get rid of that item. But then again, it's like missing a possibly good item for just...
Yeah, there's that, and you can try. There's also like the ghost was like, use me. I want to be used to combat the vampire, right? So...
Yeah.
Your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she clearly wanted to be a weapon.
She was not one to like passively just pleasure a place till it just gets desecrated again. It's... She was a fighter, and she wants to fight in afterlife, so it's really up to you to decide what to do with that.
We can always cast Hollow, literally.
You can.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, you do get that, because it's
5 levels, so yeah. I have it already.
Yeah. She just has to commune with Father a little bit to get that knowledge, but yeah.
Father, you mean Strahd Daddy?
No, the Abbot.
No.
Well, I didn't know if that was like...
Literal father.
No.
Yeah, wasn't it like every time she communed, it was always like...
Well, okay, when I say commune, I don't mean the spell. I mean like she has to like sit down and do cleric spell prep.
Do
that's
the
what
morning
you meant.
day.
Okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Or do I mean that? Or maybe she's been getting her powers from Strahd all along. Who knows?
Well, maybe it's the dark powers, though. I don't know.
Yep. I mean, that's my Hexblade patron, right? Strahd. Strahd's the Hexblade patron, I'm sure.
I don't know, dude. We never established who your patron is. You never like you were just like,
I know.
It's vengeance, and I'm like, yeah, it's vengeance. It's one level in Warlock. I'm not gonna have a patron contact you at one level to establish what it is. So I'm saving all that for later, I guess. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you just picked up Warlock because you wanted Hex. Like.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how
you draw
I
your
can
power from the ember stone that you're wearing. That's all we really established, and that's for me that's mysterious enough because you guys know nothing about the Ember Temple yet.
Yep. Okay. Well, I need to drop off. So I've got things I should be doing. So, have fun.
Yeah.
I'm
Talk
glad.
to you guys in RP chat.
Oh, sorry. One thing. You did stuff for natural 20. Question, guys. Do you find lingering wounds fun?
I don't know much about it. I know
Never
there's like
knew
different rule sets, though.
Okay, so above the table talk, I'm gonna read off to you what happens to Ramirez because he suffered a critical strike there. If I can find a table, actually. Why was it not? I thought it was a DMG thing, but apparently...
I know nothing about lingering wounds because
so-
I've always avoided them because they tend to be exceedingly punishing.
You think?
I've had them in like 1 or 2 campaigns, and they were exceedingly punishing. Where it was you got hit and you no longer have an arm.
Yeah,
And now you can't attack.
in short, if you receive a natural 20, you roll d20. The higher you roll, the better is your result. Like 17-20 is like you suffer nothing. For example, Ramirez rolled a 17. The lingering wound was not so much that it was any more than a bruising or something, But it can be anything from like a festering wound to a black eye to like a blood loss to dislocating a shoulder, concussion, mental affliction, broken arm, disfigurement, or like losing limbs and eyes. I find it's a hardcore rule that we did not really apply for 47 sessions, so I don't know if we want to start now. I just thought I would put it on the table to see if people care about that sort of thing. It's what happens when you receive massive amounts of damage, essentially.
Yeah. I generally don't like them just because I've had just bad experiences in the past with that type of thing.
Then I won't bother with them. Then we're playing this heroic. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that because I always stayed away from like the crit fail table too because I never liked that. That could be super punishing as well.
I
mean, like if I had known this was gonna be going in,
but it can be funny.
Well, yeah, to be
so I'll say this.
So I can critical fail too as an enemy.
Right.
But my thing with the critical fumble table has been that I've been in one game where that was done absolutely horribly.
Okay.
Where it was like, hi, you fumble. Okay, you rolled a natural 1. You hit your ally doing critical damage against them. It's like, what? What is this nonsense?
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. The lingering wounds could be a thing, but I feel like if we do introduce it so late in the campaign, it's like it ramps it up really bad now because it's like, well, I mean, either way it would have gotten to that, but after 47 sessions, it's like we'd have to be adapting to that style now, and it's like, okay, that's gonna slow us down a lot. I think it would slow us down. I think our party style, we're very cautious. We're very whatever. So we'd be like, oh, we have a lingering wound. All right, we take all the time.
Basilica, question for you regarding wounds. Do you have any healing spells at all?
Yeah, healing word, aura of vitality.
Okay. Because I was like, it would be funny if the necromancer was the only healer in the party.
Yeah.
No.
And that's only by killing creatures. Yeah.
Now I can prepare this time.
Okay, that's fine. All right, we'll pick up next session then. What do people want to do? You guys can discuss in general chat and stuff.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, I think it's probably if we don't get stuff resolved in terms of searching the abbey and dealing with bodies, doing that, and then probably stopping by Wizard of the Wines, talking by Kresk, and then to get resupply, and then Wizard of the Wine to talk to Van Richten about stuff, and then what's our next plan? Kind of the lake.
Yeah, I think the lake, doing the last vein.
Yeah, and the only question I would have in there is, do we want to try and stop by the Wolf Den and talk to Emil, see how he's doing?
Nah.
Probably not. Probably not. No, probably we can't get too much out of that.
Nah. Nah, fam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's completely done. I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Agreed. But, okay. So that's my vague idea.
Okay. We'll figure it out then. Last question before I go then is, Javik, what do you want to call your claws? Just gonna call
Give me a
them
minute. I'm not good on the
claws for
spot with
now.
names.
It's fine.
Yeah, Vorpal Claws for now, but I'll think of something like.
So they do require
Sinister.
attunements, just so you know.
Yeah, so I'll once we're done like clearing out the place and everything, I won't attune to them now, just in case anything does happen. But if we're gonna like move on the road or something, or
Yeah.
before we leave the abbey, I'll just take the time to do it.
Yeah, usually you have to attune to items or investigate them to like identify them, but I just want to give you a fun little like end a session with like a fun little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a handout for them, just so I can make sure I
I'm
write everything
making
in?
it right now because it's.
That's cool.
I'm not gonna give you a Vorpal Blade because that's a legendary item that's ridiculous, like game breaking ridiculous sometimes. But I'm not gonna make it any less awesome. I'm just kind of reducing some things around.
Yeah, I mean, if you're crit fishing for that, I mean, yeah,
No,
definitely.
when you
but I
crit,
don't
you
have a
crit.
way.
I'm not taking away the crit. That's what makes it Vorpal.
Oh no, yeah.
It's just I'm just reading it real quick.
Well, I'm gonna drop off.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Bye.
Bye. Fucking punk ass bitch. I'm just kidding.
You're not taking my blade or my claws.
I was gonna say, do you want the blade, the Crusader's Mantle, Basilica? Because you can use either the bone when we need it, like when we get to that battle, but in the meantime, you can have that blade just to be safe, because that also gives people the
buff?
+4 Radiant. Me, I can't concentrate on it.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, we need to organize the items.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're more of towards the good of the party. Me, I'm kind of like neutral.
So I'll have to figure out the damage of it because there's no such thing as claw weapons, but I'm gonna compare it to like a sword,
Yeah.
like a scimitar. Let me see here, scimitar, because it is a finesse thing. I can't spell scimitar for some reason. How do you spell scimitar? Am I dumb?
SCIM
TAR.
ITAR, yeah.
Oh, why did I put an H in there?
Scimitar.
Okay, so yeah, that's balanced. Okay, requires attunements. It's
Are
what?
I just saw the handout, like possible curses. Like,
I mean, I'm not gonna be coy about it. It's fucking. It's possibly, definitely, maybe cursed if it's been wielded by devil, and your sword hates it. That's what I'm implying with it.
Possibly cursed. Waiting.
Curse pending.
oh,
Yeah. No, you just don't reveal curses till like you're attuned to them. That's why.
Yeah. Basilica, we're gonna rest here, and then you're gonna do
remove
cure
curse.
Yeah, remove curse.
Yeah. I don't have
That's
prepared
shitty.
today, but yeah.
No, I know, but that's. So how would you? Well, I don't know. You wouldn't make that so, Tom, right? Like if Basilica was to take remove curse, and I was just like, oh, well, yeah, just put it on this.
So you cannot remove curses from curse items at all. You can remove a curse from yourself. Removing curse from yourself helps you unattune from a curse item.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was like,
a curse is just like balance out a very OP item. That's essentially what it is. If you could just like remove it off an item, then you just buff the item, and that's ridiculous for like a first level, second level spell.
Yeah.
So it is a 1d6 slashing finesse light weapon, meaning that you can have it in your offhand if you have something in your main hand.
Yeah, because I was actually talking to Trent about that. I was like, technically, I could make 4 attacks each round.
You could.
Yeah. But I have like no shield and everything, of course. So, but I have to have because that could be in my offhand technically. But
We only need to
why
find
would I do that?
the flying shield, and then you can have it.
Oh my god, dude, trust me.
In fact, you can even flavor it like so, where you take a dagger, which is a light weapon, and it's like, I stab the dagger into them, and then I fucking get both my claws out, and I hit them 3 times, and I take my dagger out. That's a free object interaction. That's 4 hits.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can still keep that visceral, bestial, like, savagery, To your attack, you
Yeah.
just flavor it, right? If you just detail what you do.
Because I have a hand axe, and I was like, well, if I ever just want to go fucking Hulk mode, I just use the claws. Like, well, actually, wait a minute. If I go beast mode, I'm not using the claw weapon. I have to use my claws.
By the way, did you know there's such a thing as a double-bladed scimitar in D&D? Like a handle in the
Is
middle
there?
and two blades going from either end, and you can like spin around to like make two attacks with it with a bonus action.
Really?
Kick-ass. Yeah, it's kick-ass.
That's from Everrun, I think.
Yep.
I mean, we make it.
Yep. It is. And that can be Vorpal. So I was reading, I was like, ooh, that's very scary if you can hit it with it twice for the bonus action. But yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, Tom, like, this is not like an optional rule, but they suggested. I put it on Discord. It's make fire damage of the, like the main, radiant damage equal, and you can use it like equal times your wisdom modifier.
No. Radiant damage is very unique type of damage that weakens a lot of creatures. I'm not gonna buff
Okay.
class feats.
worries.
It is what it is. I know you want, but I mean, like, you have radiant damage spells, but they have a cost.
Yeah.
You know, like,
No worries.
and it should have a cost. I find, because a lot of things like radiant is your savior in Barovia. I find it's like, you know, it's without it, a lot of things are lethal, and with it, a lot of things are trivial. I'm not gonna start giving class feats.
Yeah, I
radiance.
have plenty of,
Yeah.
how say, of radiant. Just
Mhm.
I went to do that fireball against the tree.
That's where, because you know why I don't like doing that fucking home rule, whatever it is because that's literally taken away from the strategy of like just subclassing into sorcerer and getting meta magic transmute spell. Because then you can transmute a spell to change the damage type, and you can make a fireball that's like ice damage or a fireball that's like radiant damage. But that's sorcerer levels. That's the cost. If I just make it like a free thing because it's homebrewed, I'm literally making other classes like less useful.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Go for it. Take
Yeah.
care.
Quick.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you.
Bye.
Did you look like cloak on the because the what is it, bone devils, they look like naked like this, right, with the wings and stuff, and you have like
Yeah.
this guy's like, yeah, I killed them all. I made a flesh. I made a flesh coat. Do you like it? Yeah.
It's a flesh snuggie.
Yeah. Fluggy.
yeah.
Flussy. Bussy.
So with the Vorpal Claw.
Bussy demon. Sorry. Go on.
No, it's funny because like I told the other server that I hang out with, these guys who I play shooters with, I was telling them all about Bussy and all this stuff, and they start saying it all the time now. And then all the people I work with at work start saying it all the time now. And I'm like, I'm glad I have reach out there in the world from Bussy.
That's funny. Yo, this is fucked, dude. So like I had an option of actually like if you had Brander here, I would have had him all out. Check this out. So like he would have had these items on him. Local teleportation field bracelets encircle the devil's arms and tail. These devices allow the Grandmaster, or whatever, this guy, to make its claw and sting attacks remotely, though still on the devil's turn, and use its action. He didn't even need to approach you. He could have just flied around and just made its attacks from range. And I'm like, no, that's only if Brander's here. I'm not gonna kill him. Yeah.
No, that would have worked. Yeah, because it's nice when I have those Eldritch Mauls, I can attack, like, with my claws and everything, with the buffs, and an extra D-Force damage from 15 feet away, so it's like, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I only get it once a day. But with the Vorpal Claws, so that's just a weapon that is just a normal 2-attack weapon. Like, if I was to go into rage, I don't benefit from the 3rd attack, correct?
I don't know why you're calling it a 2-attack weapon. It's a weapon that can be used by anybody who attunes to it that can attune to martial weapons, right? Martial, and it's not sword, it is a claw, but it is a martial specialty weapon. The amount of attacks depends on your class. So what are you asking me?
I can, well, I understand now. So because it's a weapon, I can only attack twice with it because I have attack and extra attack. Because when I rage and I choose to have claws as my beast, I have to use my what's it called? My claws, like the ones that I make, my offhand, not offhand, whatever the fuck it's called. I can make 3 of them, but I can't do it because it has. Sorry.
So these are not replacements for your barbarian claws. Your barbarian claws are your class feature that allows you to attack 3 times because that's what the feature does. This is you let go of all other weapons and you're just yourself. That's the benefit of that. These, they're like just like any other weapon. They're just like if you had a sword in hand, it's the same thing. Yeah, they operate the same.
I was actually thinking about, I don't know if I might do this in the future. The shield is a nice touch and everything though, but I just feel like because as the time's going on, I'm just like, man, eventually Zavok's just going to be like letting go. He's just going to be going fucking just Hulk Kool-Aid Man style. And I was like, well, I won't want the shield then, and it would be such a waste of a feat. So I was going to ask if it's possible, and if I take the time to train and do it and all that stuff, if I would be able to switch that feat with, like, I don't know if I would take 2-weapon fighting or just something.
Don't you get to switch that feat when you level up some level? I think it's baked in the class for you to switch your fighting style at some point. I'm pretty sure.
Not my fighting style. I don't have a fighting style.
What's your sorry, what do you want to switch? Maybe I misheard you, sorry.
It was a feat that I took. I took the feat Shield Master.
I'll allow it, but you'll have to like flavor it like you retrain, like as in take some downtime.
Yeah, well,
it's not going to be an instantaneous change because
correct.
That's awkward.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was going to say. If I
you'll have to find something to train with. But what feat do you want to pick up instead of Shield Master?
I'd have to look. I did really thin browsing earlier on 5e tools. I was looking at 2-weapon fighting, but it's like
2-weapon fighting.
I use unarmed attacks, and then I would have that, and I already use. I'd have to look at it more. Actually, let me go look right now. I'm on 5e tools.
Fighting style. What's the way of fighting with feats?
Or was it dual wielder? I don't know.
I think it's dual wielder you're talking about, because 2-weapon fighting is a fighting style.
Yeah.
Master duelist or fighting style dueling, compelled duel, defense and duelist. Let me look up feats real quick. But yeah, it can be done. The point is, I just want you to like flavor it so it's not.
Yeah, and that's what I would do, like, because I was actually going to start adapting to using more.
So dual wielders, you master fighting with 2 weapons, getting the following benefits: you gain +1 to your bonus to your AC while you're wielding a separate melee weapon in each hand, and you can use 2-weapon fighting even when you have a one-handed melee weapon you're wielding that isn't light. So you can 2-weapon fight with 2 heavy weapons, and you can draw or store your 2-handed weapons. 2 one-handed weapons when you normally be able to draw or store only 1. The last one being like so fucking meh that the point is.
Well, they're actually I can't use any of those because I don't use 2 weapons. One of them are their natural weapons. They're unarmed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not really something that's going to benefit you, guy. I don't think.
No, I was going to look around to see if there's nothing else. Then I would just.
There's plenty else. It's just that one you picked is not.
No.
Yeah, there's a whole lot that you can do if you don't want to do shield anymore, even though shield is pretty nice. I think there is an AR tile where it says the size limit, but I don't think it's large. I think it's huge and above. Typically, 2 sizes above you restrict you from doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there's fighting styles. I mean, even if I was to take the feat fighting styles or whatever, I could take dueling and that gives me 2 damage because technically I only have 1 weapon in my hand, a claw or the sword, and I opt out for not having a shield.
Mm-hmm.
I could technically get 4 attacks still.
You guys melted through those Soursworn like it was no yesterday. I was like, whole, because they're supposed to like embrace you and be like fucks. You know, they're supposed to like, oh my god, I'm gonna die here. You guys melted them. Damn.
I got because there wasn't anything stopping me from getting advantage. I was just like, okay, well, I'm making 3 attacks, so I can start fishing.
You know
for,
why
like,
that
higher
fight was
hits with
trivial for
them.
you guys? Because we're using like flanking rules.
I was actually thinking about that earlier, and I'm just like, you know what? Like, that's why I kind of wanted to drop Shield Master, because I'm just like, well, if I prone them, you would normally, if you weren't doing flanking rules, you would get the advantage and everything on
I
them.
think flanking rules
But
make D&D too easy.
it kind of does.
I never fully enjoyed it, but I mean, I'm not gonna take it away now.
Yeah. Because, like, when I shield bash someone, it's like, well, if I move them 5 feet, there hasn't really been much of a need for that unless I want to push them off a cliff or something, or down, or just to bump them away for something. Most of the time I use it for proning, but it's like if I'm already flanking, I don't need to prone because I'm already getting the advantage, and it doesn't stack, so I can't get super advantage. So I'm just like, Shield Master gives me other things too, don't get me wrong. I can add +2 to my deck saves and a couple other things, but mainly the proning.
Right.
And it does shield me from taking extra damage from... I can use it as a reaction to, instead of taking half damage on a good save, I can just take none. So, I mean, like, I am losing some stuff with it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I just need to figure it out more. But I was going to start adapting more of that style here, I think, kind of soon, and just be like, you know what? I want to become a fucking just martial fighter demigod here. But... yeah. I'm wondering if Mac is just going to say, alright guys, I'm just going to